Welcome to Carbondale, Illinois, home of the Southern Illinois Salukis. Star quarterback Nick Hill and his team marching into their first NCAA semifinal since they won it all in 1983. Today they face Delaware and star running back Omar Cuff, who has scored a staggering 38 touchdowns this season. A championship spot is on the line. Welcome to the NCAA Football Championship presented on ESPN by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. And today it is a national semifinal. The Blue Hens of Delaware from Newark, Delaware, here in Carbondale to take on Southern Illinois. Southern Illinois, the Salukis have not won a national championship since 1983. Delaware won one in 2003. The winner will take on powerhouse Appalachian State, who knocked off Richmond with a strong fourth quarter last night, as App State goes for its third straight title next Friday night, 8 Eastern on ESPN2. We welcome you to very cold Carbondale, Illinois. It's about 38 degrees here, a little unprepared for that, but we are prepared for some really good football. And Delaware in particular had to play a really good game to get here at all.
Yeah, they did. They took on the #1 seed, Northern Iowa, and got it done last week, falling behind early 10-0. They still came back and started to make plays. This one on defense as Eric Johnson, the middle linebacker, picks up the fumble, went 55 yards for the touchdown. Northern Iowa struck back, making it a close game, but Joe Flacco, the Blue Hen quarterback, snuck one in. They end up pulling out the win, 39-27. Delaware advanced. Now for the Salukis, they took on UMass. Third play of the game, they get a 69-yard touchdown catch by Byron Gaddis. Richard White with a 10-yard run to cap off the scoring, and their quarterback, Nick Hill, outstanding, getting it done at the end. So the Salukis advance, beating Massachusetts, and that's our matchup here today.
And if you like high-flying and high-powered offenses, we have a great matchup. Both of these teams averaging about 39 points per game, and we have not one but two star quarterbacks.
Yeah, we really do, and we'll start with Delaware and Joe Flacco, their outstanding quarterback. They also have an outstanding running back in Omar Cuff, but let's talk about Flacco first. The strength of his arm is really what you hang a hat on. He can get it anywhere on the field, and if the pass doesn't work, hand it off to Omar Cuff. Look at that, 34 rushing touchdowns so far this season. He's got 4 more receiving, so he can get it done both ways. And on the other side, we've got Nick Hill, the senior quarterback for the Salukis. First Saluki ever to throw for over 3,000 yards. He is a lefty. He's very accurate with the football. He's going to be fun to watch today as well.
And the winner goes to the national championship game next week. Only the second time these two teams have ever played. Delaware won big in the first round of the playoffs in 2003 when they went on to win the national title. They are fired up in Carbondale. The kickoff just around the corner. HD presented by Pioneer Kuro HD TV. It is the NCAA Division I semifinal, and a good day to have a big old bat of chili outside, about 38 degrees as we get ready for Delaware to take on Southern Illinois. The third member of our team down on the cold field is Dave Ryan, and Dave, it really was a circuitous route for Delaware to get here at all.
Yeah, what a wild ride, Pam, for sure, for the Fighting Blue Hens. And we know when most college football teams play on the road these days, they try to get back to their home campus as soon as possible, either via a bus or a team charter flight. That's what Delaware tried to do last week after beating Northern Iowa in the national quarterfinals in Cedar Falls. Only one problem: Mother Nature said forget about it. Not once but twice the team tried to get on a charter flight out of Cedar Falls, but got iced in due to a severe ice storm that covered the Midwest last weekend. So Monday morning, finally they flew out of Cedar Falls and got to their campus in Newark, Delaware about 2 o'clock. After, by the way, their team bus broke down, and that's in about a couple hours. One key problem is getting ready for this game. Star running back Omar Cuff told us this week that the game preparation is difficult because the team did not get their cut-up DVDs of game film until Tuesday. Normally they get that on Sunday night or Monday morning at the earliest. And guys, this game was supposed to be played last night, but the NCAA gave Delaware an extra day because of their travel difficulties, so they swapped. The App State Richmond game was played last night in Boone, North Carolina instead.
And head coach Casey Keeler said that it was sort of like a spa vacation for them in Iowa. The only thing is they couldn't really go outside because of the snow and the ice. And there is Casey Keeler. Kurt Charles is what the KC stands for. In his 6th season, he was also a star linebacker who won a championship under Tubby Raymond when he played there, and he took them all the way to the Division I championship just 4 years ago. His counterpart is Jerry Kill, now in his 7th year at Southern Illinois. And really, Ray, what he has done here is nothing short of miraculous.
Yeah, miraculous as in miracle, because they had 20 years of a playoff drought until Jerry Kill got here. Went 1-10 his first year, 4-8 the next year, and then bam, turned it around with a couple of 10-2 seasons, 5 consecutive trips, as you see, to this tournament. And Jerry Kill has got his team for the first time under his reign into the semifinals.
He has really been embraced by this community. His mantra is hard hat plus lunch pail equals championships, and that really is tapped into the heart of this very hard-working community in the south of Illinois. So only 3 teams remain in the football championship series. App State waits for the winner of this game. 15 of the 16 teams making at least their second tourney appearance. Delaware State, who Delaware beat in the first round, the only newcomer, and the #1 ranked team, Northern Iowa, lost to Delaware last week. And the winner of this game plays Appalachian State. It's been so wild, it was blown up the very first weekend when the #2 and 3 seeds, Montana and McNeese State, respectively, went out the very first week.
That's why you love a tournament. You never know what's going to happen. You see the weather here, Pam, as you said a couple of times, it's a little chilly. 38 degrees, the wind kicking up. Little mist out here right now, not a real heavy rain. And we'll see how that affects the way the ball is thrown today. We got a couple of good throwing quarterbacks, so we'll see if that affects the game plan in that regard.
Both Joe Flacco for Delaware and Nick Hill for Southern Illinois throwing for well over 3,000 yards on the season. And these are some Hardy fans showing up at McAndrew Stadium. There are plans for a new stadium to be built here by either 2009 or 2010. And these folks are sitting on metal bleachers, wet, cold metal bleachers. First time they have ever been on ESPN. Southern Illinois football, Southern Illinois basketball has been on often, but the folks are very excited about this opportunity.
Yeah, everywhere, all over town since we've been here on Thursday. It's all you hear about on TV, on the radio, in the store windows. This community has really gotten behind this group.
Southern Illinois has won the toss, and they have elected to receive. They have a terrific returner in #2, Craig Turner. Most teams have kicked away from him. He is a 3-time first-team All-Gateway returner. He had a 51-yard return on a kickoff last week against UMass because they did not kick away from him. So we will see what Delaware chooses to do in the opening kickoff. We are underway, and the ball does go away from Turner and out of bounds. UMass, an opportunity to start at the 35-yard line. Richard White, a very talented true freshman running back, was the closest. Saluki and Casey Keeler again decided not to kick it to Craig Turner.
Yeah, and I'm sure he also didn't want it kicked out of bounds either. But regardless, we're going to get a look at quarterback Nick Hill bringing out his Saluki offense. Nick Hill, I watched him on tape a lot, Pam, and he's flawless. That's the word that came to mind for me on Mr. Hill. He just knows where to go with the football. He's extremely accurate in the short passing game, and he seldom makes mistakes. And 73% completion percentage, that's a mind-boggling number.
And he also is their 4th leading rusher the last 4 games, 218 yards rushing, so he is a double threat lefty, throws it right away, and it is incomplete. His intended receiver is Phil Goforth, a senior from Naperville, Illinois.
And talking with Matt Linegrover, the Saluki's offensive coordinator, he wants to pound the football a little bit today. I know they started in the shotgun that first snap, but he's at least talked to us about having 2 backs in the game for the most part, and he's going to try and run the football and see if that works for him. That's what they go to here.
We saw Linegrover with the big chart in front of him. First rushing attempt of the game for John Randall, and he picks up about 9 yards before he is nudged out of bounds by Charles Graves, the free safety for the Blue Hens.
Yeah, they're going to pull the guard here, a little power play. Watch that 75, Sean Smith, come in and then kind of pin on the inside, pins the linebacker inside, and that creates the room for them to get outside, and Randall picks up almost a first down.
And now Randall does pick up the first down. He's a transfer from Kansas, played a couple of years there. In 2004, had 540 yards. He was actually honorable mention Big 12 in 2003. He's from Wichita, Kansas, and Coach Jerry Kill has big connections in that state.
Yeah, he had Coach Kill actually coached John Randall's brother back in the day, so he knows that family well.
Coach Kill also coached at Emporia State in Kansas, and his team has a first down on its very first possession. Blitz coming. Hill gets away from trouble and throws it close to another first down to Alan Turner, and that's something he worked on during the offseason. He's a lefty, but in the offseason worked on going right.
Yeah, he knew that from his experience in this offense that most of the rollout stuff was called to his left, and he knew defenses kind of honed in on that, so he worked very hard in this offseason to be, I guess, ambidextrous in terms of his ability to roll out and make accurate throws either way, and you saw in that last one, pretty good, a lefty going to his right.
Completed 73% of his passes during the regular season. That one just short of a first down. Randall is dropped for a loss as he was taken down by Jeremy Kometz, the most experienced defender, the senior from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Not a lot of seniors on the Delaware side of the ball. And there you see Nick Hill's numbers. Just staggering, and no other Southern Illinois quarterback has ever thrown for 3,000 yards. And this is a guy who was a really good basketball player coming out of high school. In fact, signed a basketball scholarship at Western Kentucky.
Yeah, played there for a year, Pam, and decided that football might be what he wanted to do. So he had an open invitation from Coach Kill to come back anytime he wanted.
And on 3rd and 1, Randall gets it again as he is able to pick up enough yardage for the first down, give him 3 on that. Anthony Bratton, the strong safety, making the stop. And Nick Hill actually was on the basketball team as well at Southern Illinois, and when he first came here, but now is exclusively a football player from nearby DeQuoin, Illinois. Had a chance to visit with him yesterday, and he's, boy, the coaches just raved and raved about him.
Yeah, he's got a nice spread up there, a 255-acre farm in DeQuoin. Brings the team up there for parties on occasion.
Blitz coming. They pick it up, and the ball is high, but caught. Nice effort by Alan Turner, who went up and brought the ball down in front of Fred Andrew. That's another first down for the Salukis.
Boy, watch the arm strength here of Nick Hill. The 3-step out of the gun, and then he throws the perfect strike. And then here's Turner on a stop route. Get to the sticks, stop, come back, make the catch. Perfect timing in the offense on that play. And the Salukis are putting together a nice drive here to start things out.
Alan Turner, what a story he is. He's a walk-on. He wore the number 59 when he first got here. The coaches said that's what they thought of his ability until he proved them wrong, as Turner gets another, John Randall gets that carry and picks up 2 more. Alan Turner, the senior from this state of Illinois, all Gateway honorable mention, and that's something you see a lot in this division, the football championship series, formerly 1AA. A lot of guys who are walk-ons or weren't looked at by the quote-unquote big schools who make very good college players.
Yeah, the FCS, to me, the C stands for chip on the shoulder, the football chip on the shoulder series.
And there's guys like that on the Delaware side. We'll get into their stories as the day moves on. That ball is bobbled and then intercepted off the hands of Justin Allen and Eric Johnson. One of those great stories who had to walk on to Delaware and has turned into a star, gets the pickoff for the Blue Hens.
Boy, that ball should have been caught right there. Eric Johnson, the middle linebacker, just hustling to the end of the play. That thing comes off Allen's hands. You're going to see him show up late right there, number 57, making another big play. Last week, and we showed it at the top, he had the 55-yard return of a fumble for a touchdown early on to get Delaware going. Comes up with a big interception when the Salukis were driving here in the first quarter.
His 3rd pick of the season. He did have to walk on. His brother Sean was a star at Delaware, and Eric has made himself into one. So the Blue Hens' first possession, bottled up about a yard from the line of scrimmage. Omar Omar Cuff picked up 3, and Cuff is a terrific running back. 38 touchdowns this season, 34 of them on the ground. And here's a guy who came to Delaware as a defensive back, and the coaches told him there's no way you're ever going to touch the ball as a running back.
Yeah, that kind of hurt him a little bit, he said, and then they had injuries, and they decided to move him back over there. He said that was one of the happiest days of his life.
And boy, has he turned into a terrific football player. Almost 1,800 yards alone this season. Joe Flacco, the quarterback, under pressure, gets rid of it just as he goes down. Aaron Love was in the vicinity, but great pressure. James Cloud coming from his defensive end spot.
Yeah, Clayton Johnson, the free safety, is going to sneak up late. Watch him come off the top of your screen. 36 right there. He's the one who gets there along with Cloud to force that throw, and then the incomplete.
Flacco was sacked 5 times last week at Northern Iowa. Delaware got into a 10-0 hole and then was able to come back and win it. 3rd and 7, and this crowd is vocal. Flacco over the middle, throws it a little bit behind his intended receiver, Kirvin Mashad, incomplete, and Delaware has to punt.
And the Salukis played man-to-man coverage again and brought the pressure. A nice coverage by B. Will, they call him, Brandon Williams, down the field. But again, they blitzed, they brought the pressure. They're going to get after Joe Flacco and try to get him out of his comfort zone as much as possible early on.
And the punt by Stuart Kenworthy is taken by Craig Turner, and he gets it into Delaware territory. A 41-yard punt and a 13-yard return. The Salukis had a nice drive that ended in an interception last time. They had the ball when we returned. A nice aerial shot. Elaine Rahm, our on-field camera person, was able to go up in a plane. They have a good aviation school here at Southern Illinois, and she went up. She's smart, though, went up with one of the instructors, not one of the students. And there may be some of the students. The shirtless is Richard White, the exciting true freshman, gets the carry for the Salukis and gets up to around the 45-yard line. Nick Hill, the star quarterback for Southern Illinois, introduces his offense.
Leading our high-powered offense today is big-time playmaker, senior wide receiver Alan Turner. Up front, making holes all day and protecting me will be center Mike Farrell and left tackle pro prospect Darren Marquez.
And this offense set so many school records this year. Points, passing yards, passing touchdowns, first down, and pass completions. On their way to this one-loss season, John Randall with another carry, and they stopped about a yard short of the first down. Delaware's defense for the Blue Hens, introduced by cornerback Anthony Walters.
Starting up front with the D-line, we got senior number 33, Jeremy, a.k.a. Larry Bird, Komet. Behind him, we got middle linebacker number 57, Eric the Lumberjack Johnson. And behind him, we got hard-hitting strong safety, Anthony Snacks Bratton.
Eric Johnson already making a big play with an interception. That was another 3rd and 1 for the Salukis, but there's a timeout
Delaware.
by Delaware. Ed Rhodes is our referee. Still scoreless in the NCAA Division I semifinal.
A pickup touchdown.
A Division I football championship is presented on ESPN by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. We'll pick you up. And in part by Pontiac. Vote now for the Pontiac game-changing performance of the year at ESPN.com. Keyword Pontiac.
And as mentioned, Southern Illinois does have one of the top aviation schools in the country. 440 students taking part in that. Aviation flight management and technology is among the degrees you can get. And there they are, touching down next to campus. 3rd and 1. They are 2 for 2. A flag is down as they do pick up the first down. That's Randall again, pending penalty.
Yeah, it looked like Delaware lined up in the neutral zone. I think they lined up off sides.
Offsides. Defense. Number 56 lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
Yeah, linebacker Walter Blair got up in there a little too early, trying to stop that short yardage play. And he got caught being in the neutral zone, so it's a first down automatically for the Salukis.
Randall would have had it anyway on the run, but they'll take it. The ball now at the 35-yard line for Southern Illinois. Their only loss this year was to Northern Iowa, also in their Gateway Conference, as Randall bends Eric Johnson backwards a little bit as he picks up a couple extra yards. Eric Johnson already has one takeaway today. For more on him, let's go down to Dave Ryan.
Well, Pam, you and Ray talked about his brother Sean, a great player at Delaware, All-American defensive end star on that 03 championship team, was drafted by the Oakland Raiders out of college. But when it came time for Eric to pick a school out of Fairport, New York, near Rochester, he wanted to follow his brother's footsteps. Sean, their dad, campaigned with head coach Casey Curer in his office. Give my brother and my son a scholarship. The coach said, Eric has got to earn it, which he did. He bulked up from 190 to 230. Now he leads the team in tackles, Pam.
As Randall gets it again, stopped by Eric Johnson, who Rhino just talked about, close to another first down. And Johnson said he wanted to go someplace where he was wanted, and he sort of made Delaware want him by becoming bigger and better.
You see him scrape across the top here. Just got great linebacker instincts, a solid tackler. He has definitely earned his scholarship with the Blue Hens, and that's something he told us that he was really particularly proud of. That really meant a lot to him to go in there and not be thought so highly of and yet get it done.
Said he wasn't really recruited by hardly anybody. New Hampshire was interested and then backed off. Fordham was interested, but only lukewarm, so he walked on to Delaware and now is a star. Yet another 3rd and 1, and Randall is taken backwards. The spot is very crucial, but Eric Johnson came in, met him right near the sticks, and sent him flying backwards.
Well, we talked about him, and right on cue, Johnson steps up there, and you look at that spot, and it looks like it's short. They're going to probably measure this one. In fact, they are.
Now, the blue line is where the line of scrimmage was, electronically produced, as is the yellow line, which is the first down line. They're unofficial, but usually very accurate. And the officials right away signaled that it was short, but they will measure to make sure. And they were right by that much.
An inch, and I bet they go for it here early on.
Kyle Doherty is their place kicker. His career long is 44 yards.
Yeah, I would just get up under center, let Nick Hill run a quarterback sneak, and that way Eric Johnson ain't going to be able to get you. Here he is, the big middle linebacker in the middle, coming downhill on that short yards. Bam, scrapes outside, gets a little help out there from Charles Graves, and they stopped that one short.
And the Salukis are going on the season 9 for 20 on 4th down. That's 45%. And Ray mentioned Hill as a possible sneak guy. He's their 4th leading rusher, but it doesn't look like he got it.
I think the far spot, that official up there is going to give it to him.
Boy, that's a more favorable spot than the one closer to us.
See the spot there, he kind of gave way to the far side, and that guy, I think, gave him that first down. He did. And he had a better view on that side because that's the side that Nick Hill ended up kind of leaning towards.
Jeremy Kometz among those, Ray, coming in to make the stop, but they're going to measure.
Take a quick look at it again, and you see the initial surge gets stopped, and it's hard to say, but here's Hill up top. So he made it, I believe. The second effort on him when he rolls through afterwards. Right there, you see that final push?
Yeah, because initially they absolutely had him dead to rights, and he does pick it up, so the slight gamble by Coach Jerry Kill pays off. Southern Illinois with the first down at the 25.
Yeah, and John Randall, the tailback, got in there behind, gave him the bush push.
Southern Illinois now with 5 first downs. Delaware still looking for its first. Richard White, the true freshman, picks up about 5 on first down. Fred Andrew, the cornerback, makes the stop for the Blue Hens. The winner of this game will take on Appalachian State Friday night at 8 Eastern time on ESPN2 in Chattanooga. App State going for its 3rd straight championship. The winner of this game heads that way. Boy, what an effort. Monty Edwards, how special is that guy? 313 yards on the ground and 4 touchdowns.
That was amazing. Oh, what a great game that was last night. Tied her back up at 38 all, I believe. And Monty Edwards just took over.
8th play of this drive. as White is able to escape, but didn't pick up hardly anything at all for his efforts. Richard White is a freshman from Hamilton, New Jersey, and he has gotten more and more playing time as the season has gone on. His offensive coordinator, Matt Limegrover, said it was something that actually you see a lot with freshmen, is he just didn't block very well early.
Yeah, he had to learn, and then he also had to kind of earn his way. But in terms of talent, I think Richard White is the best running back that the Salukis have in just terms of talent, and he will be a good one down the road. But he just doesn't have the experience and the other things, the time with this program that Randall has, being a fifth-year senior.
That's a great 1-2 punch with Randall and White. Hill to his left, throws it, and it is caught, and into the end zone for the touchdown, Alan Turner. And the Salukis break on top. Turner, the walk-on, able to get the ball away from the Delaware defender, but it is coming back. And an eligible receiver for the Salukis is going to erase the touchdown.
Oh, and that's a heartbreaker.
Downfield, number 86 offense. He was covered by an outside receiver. 5-yard penalty, repeat, third down.
So take away the 20-yard touchdown to Turner. Ryan Kearns did the mistake.
All right, and your tight end up top right here, and this man is on the line of scrimmage right here. So you got too many people on the line of scrimmage, and then that man goes out down the field, and that becomes a problem. It was Phil Goldthorpe, number 88, who covered up the tight end on the far side, and that cost the Salukis 6 points.
Boy, a huge break for Delaware. Instead of the touchdown, it's now 3rd and 10. Hill with the blitz coming, gets it underway, and boy, Randall had to go right off of his hands, but the pass was around the original line of scrimmage. Would have been a tough go for the first down, but right now 4th and 10 for the Salukis. And that has certainly taken the air out of this crowd. They were whipped into a frenzy after they thought the Salukis had scored the touchdown.
Yeah, that's a critical mistake that you don't expect to see here in the playoffs. I mean, that's something that you work on from day one. When training camp comes around, you don't anticipate having that kind of mistake, and it proved to be costly for Southern.
Kyle Doherty's made 9 straight field goals. This one from 42 yards is right down the middle. So Southern Illinois doesn't get the touchdown, but they do get the 42-yard field goal from the true freshman, and the Salukis lead it 3-0. So the Heisman Trophy presentation coming up later on tonight. Right now, very crucial game between Southern Illinois and Delaware, as Kyle Doherty capping off a 5-minute and 4-second 24-yard drive with a 42-yard field goal after a touchdown pass was taken away because of an ineligible man downfield. Doherty, who kicked the field goal, now kicking off. Curvin Mashad among those waiting, but the kick is short and taken at the 30-yard line by Tim Prindle, who is a linebacker, and Prindle gets it up to the 38-yard line. Here's Delaware's offense, their star right tackle Mike Byrne with the introductions.
First, the general of our offense, quarterback Joe, bring out the laser flack attack Flacco. Then my roommate at wide receiver, swerving Curvin Mashad. Then next to me at right guard, our big daddy and veteran, Rich Beverly.
And Mike Byrne is a model student athlete, a double major, graduated in 3.5 years, about a 3.65 grade point average, and he's a very talented right tackle.
Yeah, he's everything you could ask for.
Flacco zips it and completes it to Mark Duncan, one of his favorite targets, picks up 5 yards. Southern Illinois defense, their cornerback Craig Turner.
Up front in the trenches, we have my man Larry Luster, the touchdown buster at defensive tackle. Molded in the middle at middle linebacker, we have Brandon, the Beast Jordan. Sharing the secondary with myself, I have my man Clayton Johnson. He will bring the pain.
This defense is a good one. They have picked off 21 passes, tied for 4th in the nation, as Omar Cuff is bottled up, only able to pick up a couple of yards. Brandon Jordan, all Gateway second-team linebacker, making the stop.
Yeah, and they do this on occasion. They'll put the quarterback right back there, Joe Flacco, and you see how Cuff is a little bit closer to the center, and then they'll do that direct snap to him right there, bam, and lead the way with Flacco blocking. He actually did a pretty nice job blocking Turner, the corner out there, but other people came to the rescue.
Delaware 0 for 1 on third downs today, facing a 3rd and 3 as Flacco looks over to the sidelines for the call. Blitz coming, Flacco throws it and dropped. Would have been a first down, but Aaron Love, the junior from Detroit, the coaches told us over the phone this week that this is a wide receiver who catches everything. He should have caught that one.
Yeah, and I think you have to give Clayton Johnson, the free safety, a little credit there too, because he got there just shortly after the ball arrived and knocked this thing away. Watch him as he closes in, bam, right there. He got the hand in, so that's more of a breakup than a drop on Mr. Love.
I still think he should have had it.
Yeah, you're right, he should have. It's a championship on the line here today. You got to make them all.
2 3-and-outs for Delaware. They do elect to kick to Craig Turner this time. And the 38-yard punt is returned 16 yards before he is taken down by Matt Ruggiero. Later tonight on ESPN2 at 9 Eastern, Grand Valley State takes on Northwest Missouri State in the semifinals of the NCAA 2 championship, Division II championship. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. And you're a Michigan guy, so you're very aware of Grand Valley State. They are really the monsters of D2.
Yeah, they are. They've won 40 straight ball games. Can you imagine that? 40 in a row, 2 consecutive national championships. Chuck Martin, their coach, doing a heck of a job with the Lakers.
A heck of a run by John Randall into the secondary before he is induced out of bounds by safety Anthony Bratton. A huge 32-yard gain.
Yeah, and the problem with this one, Eric Johnson, that linebacker we've been talking about all day, watch him right here. He's going to get sucked inside instead of coming over the top, and that's what makes it into such a bigger run. You see how he comes into that backside? There's no linebacker to flow over the top, and then the safety comes up with a bad angle as well, and then Randall shows you what he's got.
And Randall, 10 carries for 63 yards. He is now over 1,000 on the season. Richard White spells him as the tailback. Hill completes it for about a 5-yard gain to Phil Goforth.
Yeah, they just checked this at the line. They saw the cushion that they were getting on that side from Fred Andrew. He was about 8-9 yards and heading his back pedal off of Goforth, so they just ran right to that quick little hitch right in front of him.
The Delaware defense has been the sore spot for this Blue Hen team all season, and you see the total yards just massive now for Southern Illinois. Delaware's had a couple of 3-and-outs on their possession. 2nd and 4 now for the Salukis. And right up the middle, close to another first down, is Richard White. Stopped by Walter Blair, former walk-on linebacker from District Heights, Maryland, playing for Delaware.
And I'm surprised the Salukis are running to the right side, but you see the big tight end on the right side, number 92. That's a backed-up offensive tackle, Andrew Kearns. So they're loading up at that line of scrimmage with big guys, and they're running it down the throats of Delaware right now. That was the plan coming in. Matt Limegrover thought they could run the football pretty well against this group, and they proved that in the first quarter.
Another 3rd and short. They're 2 for 4 on 3rd downs today. Make it 3 for 5 as Aaron Lockwood has the ball. Lockwood is a guard for the Salukis. So Jerry Gill and company drawing up some plays today. He picked up 7, the big guy, 6'3", 305. He lined up as a fullback that time.
Hey, go ahead and let this run, fellas. You're going to see a guard pull around. Well, actually not so much, but they give it to the big guy up front. I mean, look at the size of him. You don't see that very often where they sneak in the big man to carry a rock.
So he has 6 yards on that one rush. Delaware has 5 rushing yards all day. 1st and 10, but that play does not get off the ground.
And they ran out of time on that. It'll be a delay of game.
Part of the snap. Delay game. Offense. Number 17. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Aaron Lockwood, who got the carry a couple of plays ago for the 6-yard gain, his second year at Southern Illinois, played 1 year at Barton County Community College, and the big 6'3", 305-pound fullback that time.
Talk about a wrinkle. That's a big wrinkle.
And you see he's in there as the starting left guard, and the coaches at Southern Illinois think he's got NFL potential. Nick Hill hanging on to it and picking up between 2 and 3 yards.
Yeah, he juggled the snap and wasn't able to make the handoff to Randall, and then had the presence to just tuck it down and get some positive yards by himself. And that's the thing that Nick Hill will do for you. You know, things can all of a sudden, you know, something looking bad here, and Hill can rescue it just by the quick thinking that he has.
He's an exceptional basketball player, great athlete, great student. Quick on his feet. Southern Illinois totally dominating statistically in this game, but only up 3-0. Little play action. Hill over the middle, and it's caught right at the 1-yard line. Alan Turner with the 21-yard gain, and the Salukis are knocking on the door again.
Boy, he beat Walters on that. Just a post route. And Nick Hill had plenty of time, and when you give him time, he will throw dimes. Go ahead and run this run, fellas. Watch this. A little bit of a play action, not much, but that's a perfect strike. And his receiver, Turner, did a nice job getting his body in between where the ball was coming from, and that defender kind of shielded him off.
Anthony Walters was right there on the coverage, but could not prevent the catch. Randall gets it, takes it in from a yard out. The Salukis with the touchdown. So another impressive drive for Southern Illinois. That drive started on its 33 and ends up with Randall's touchdown, his 11th rushing score of the season. Doherty in for the extra point. Last week, Delaware had to come from 10-0 down at Northern Iowa to win the quarterfinal to get here, and they're facing another 10-0 deficit as the defense has been steamrolled so far by the Salukis.
Yeah, they really have the running game, just like Matt Limegrove, the offensive coordinator, talked to us about. That was what they were going to try right off the bat. And then they had a plan B after that, which involved Nick Hill getting on the edge and throwing the football. But if you can run the football, that opens up all kinds of things in terms of play action and you know, the passing game. It brings extra guys up into the line of scrimmage, and they got to do things to stop the run, and then bam, you can hit them with play action. But right now, that line up front for the Salukis is taking control here of the first quarter.
They have outgained Delaware 132 yards to 10. 85 rushing yards out of the 132 for Southern Illinois, which has already set a school record with 513 points this season, now up to 523. As Jerry Kill's team looking to get into the championship game. Southern Illinois won it all in 1983, trying to get back to the title game. For more on Jerry Kill, who's meant so much to this program, let's go down to Dave Ryan.
Yeah, Pam, he sure has. Back in 2005, the coach had to win the biggest game of his life against cancer. He suffered from kidney cancer. He actually collapsed during a game here with a seizure that season. After tests, the doctor called him on the news. Now, Coach Kill, as we learned from meeting him yesterday, is a tough guy. He was in the middle of getting his game plan together for that week, which he finished before leaving the office and telling his family about the news. Now, due to the nature of the cancer, he was able to put off surgery until after the season. He had part of his kidney removed. A few days later, back hosting a recruit. Who is that? Justin Allen, who's now the team's leading wide receiver.
And a great story, and a guy with a great spirit who has set up his own cancer fund that helps underprivileged families pay for all of the residual costs. as Mashad gets the kickoff, short kickoff, takes it to the 32, where Delaware will try to get its offense jump started. And Kill, with that cancer fund, he said he realized how fortunate he was that he had the money to afford all the residual things like hotel stays, and he has set up a fund along with his wife to help others who are not as privileged. And there's the coaching resume. And this guy started really, like junior high school and worked his way up.
Yeah, he really has worked his way up from the bottom. And, you know, to just comment on the thing that Coach did, you know, he said he saw a need there with a lot of people that he met getting his cancer treatments, that they didn't have the luxury that he had of the money to pay for things. And he said, you know what, that's something I can do something about. And he got on the phone, he got it together, and he's helped a lot of people. And to me, that speaks very highly of Jerry Kill.
And Flacco throws it. That's a good catch by Aaron Love, who gets it sliding down, and Delaware has its first down of the game, and it comes with only 33 seconds left in the first quarter.
Yeah, but like you mentioned, Pam, they were down 10-zip last week, so this isn't a football team that's going to, you know, run for the hills at the sign of adversity. In fact, they kind of look forward to that adversity. That's been their deal. That's why they've gotten this far. They're able to maintain their cool and get things done, and they realize it's a 60-minute deal.
That play will be reviewed. And this is the first weekend that there has been review in the football championship series. Unlike the upper division, they do not have it in every game. Jim Allison from the SEC is a guy who'll be taking a look at it, the replay official up here with us.
Yeah, got a chance to meet him before the game. Retired on-field SEC official from Shelbyville, Tennessee. Going to take a look at this and see if he thinks it's a good catch or not.
It's a catch.
Yeah, from that view, it certainly looked like a catch to me. And then Joe Shoemaker is up there as the communicator with Mr. Allison. He works for DV Sport, which is the company that handles the replay in terms of the equipment and all of those things. So he's on the horn with Mr. Rhodes trying to figure that one out.
And Aaron Love, as Jerry Kill talks to his guys upstairs, a junior from Detroit who caught that, has been banged up. Both of his shoulders have been sprained. He came in here on a 21-game catch streak, and part of the potent offense for Delaware. And you see how foggy and blurry it is. And if you're going to try to overturn it on something like that, no way.
I don't believe so.
Remember, it has to be conclusive evidence to overturn it. So Delaware finally gets a big play. And now the momentum stopped just with the game right about now as you get a look at the guys down there. It is a very misty, cold day, about 38 degrees at kickoff, and it's not supposed to dry up here until like Wednesday or Thursday.
The ruling on the field stands. Check it out.
Yeah, I woke up this morning, Pam, and thought I was in Buffalo again.
Back playing for the Bills, huh? Were you ready to go up and grab your pad?
The only thing missing was the 6 feet of snow.
So that was indeed a catch by Aaron Love. So make it 22 straight games in which the junior from Detroit has caught a pass as the first quarter is winding down. Joe Flacco, the transfer from the University of Pittsburgh, all 6'6" of them, quarterbacking Delaware. Flushed out of the pocket, has a man wide open, and he hits him. That's tight end Josh Baker. And Delaware, after being stymied for the entire first quarter, gets back-to-back first down completions.
And they let Flacco get out to the right side, and that's where they don't want him to roll. When he rolls to his right, he is unbelievably accurate and effective. In fact, to the point where we were told by the defensive coordinator, Tracy Clays, they're going to try and force him to scramble to his left today. That time they let him get over to the right.
As the first quarter comes to a close, Southern Illinois has a 10-0 lead, but Delaware is driving. The winner of this game plays for the national championship on Friday. We're about to get underway in this Division I football semifinal. Delaware trailing Southern Illinois 10-0, but driving back-to-back 15-yard completions, putting them on the 39-yard line of the Salukis. Ball is handed off to Omar Cuff, and he only gets a couple of yards. Cuff, the senior from Landover, Maryland. Ran for over 100 yards last week in the win over Northern Iowa. In the first quarter, especially up until the last 33 seconds of it, it was all Southern Illinois. They had one drive stymied by an interception and total domination otherwise.
Yeah, we haven't really had much chance to see this Delaware Blue Hen offense and the quarterback Joe Flacco until this drive where we saw him drop a couple of them in there.
Two tight end set, 2nd and 8 for the Blue Hens. Flacco completes it. That's Mark Duncan again in front of Brandon Williams. Duncan's 2nd catch of the day. Leave him about 3 yards short of a first down. And Flacco is another one of those guys. He told us flat out, I'm playing with a chip on my shoulder, because he was recruited to play at Pittsburgh, but had to sit behind Tyler Palco, and the new coaches came in, and Dave Wanstedt, and they told him, you will not start here. And he said, okay, see ya.
Yeah, but then they wouldn't release him.
Right, from his scholarship. Big 3rd down for Flacco and company, and the handoff to Cuff, and he gets it as he stumbles forward to the 25-yard line. Craig Turner makes the stop, but that's 7 yards for Cuff.
Yeah, and they caught the Salukis in a blitz, and they blitzed on the left side. You're going to see the blitz come in over on this side, and they're going to run it back the other way, away from that blitz. See the cut by Cuff away from where the blitzers were. Nice vision by Cuff. To me, that's the best thing that Omar Cuff has in his repertoire, is the vision, the ability to see where to go and to get there.
34 rushing touchdowns, leading his division. 3 straight first downs now on this drive for Delaware, and Cuff gets close to another one as he is taken down by Craig Turner. And Cuff coming to Delaware as a defensive back, where he was told he'd never be a running back, and he's turned into a great one.
Yeah, he really is an outstanding. He got an unbelievable nose for the end zone, Pam, and that's easy to say when a guy's got 38 touchdowns. But he just has an extra ability when he gets down in this area of the field to get himself into the end zone.
5'10", 195-pound senior out of Landover, Maryland, which is right outside of Washington, D.C. And on 2nd and 1, they go right back to Cuff, and Cuff will give the Blue Hens a 1st and goal from the 9. Braden Jordan makes the stop. 7 more for Cuff. For more on Omar, let's go to Dave Ryan.
Yeah, Pam, really hard to imagine. Omar Cuff showed for his first workouts in January freshman year. He was told by the coaches, you're out of shape and you're never going to play running back, as you guys mentioned. So he worked really hard to become the best defensive back he could. He says it was a liberating experience when he finally got switched to his best position, running back, and what a year he's had.
A landmark year for him. Good play action, and wide open for the touchdown catch is Robbie Agnone, and Delaware caps off an impressive drive with Flacco's touchdown throw, his 21st of the season.
Oh, they lost track of the tight end, Agnone. He did a nice job of selling it. He blocked for a 1 count, a 2 count, a 3 count, and then snuck out. Here he is right on the end, right in the front of your screen. Block, 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 and then lead. And by then, Flacco had made his fake, did his little half roll, and there was nobody left to cover the tight end.
Strayevsky with the extra point. Agnone, who, like Flacco, is a transfer from the University of Pittsburgh, gets the touchdown. So the Blue Hens right back in it, only down 10-7. Welcome back to Carbondale, Illinois, the NCAA Division I semifinal. Delaware only trailing now 10-7 to the Salukis, as you take a look at Carbondale and get a good look at Joe Flacco blowing on his hands after throwing his 21st touchdown pass of the season. The 6'6", 230-pound senior from South Jersey, and the NFL scouts really, really like this guy.
Yeah, they love his arm, and then you mentioned that, the 6'6" part of it, because that allows him to see down the field and also stand in there and take hits and still make throws, and that's what he's done throughout his college career.
John Strayevsky going to kick it off for Delaware. Short kickoff taken at the 15 by Craig Turner. Busted one for over 50 yards last week, but is taken down at the 33-yard line by J.T. Laws. And now Southern Illinois takes over Dave Ryan is on the field with a special guest. Dave.
All right, we're joined by Joel Sambursky, one of the all-time great quarterbacks here at Southern Illinois. And we talked to your head coach, Jerry Kill, yesterday, who said you helped save the program between 02 and 05. When someone says that, what does that mean to you?
Oh, he's being kind. I mean, there's a lot of guys that came in with me that believed in Coach, would do anything for Coach, and it's incredible to be able to see the progress this program's made because of guys that bought into Coach Gill, listened to him, and believed in him.
You were here when he had his seizure and had his battle with cancer. What was that experience like for the players?
It was the hardest thing I've ever had to go through, and my life's been good. But I found out actually about Coach's situation when I was playing my senior year, and it weighed heavily on my heart. But you know, Coach Gill preaches that you gotta fight through things, and I got to watch him do it. He did what he preached, and it really created a lot of love for that guy right there, and a lot of encouragement as well.
Joe, you hold 10 records here in Southern Illinois. You're watching two great quarterbacks in Nick Hill and Joe Flacco. What is your assessment of the two QBs out there today?
Well, you know, you're probably, I'm not an NFL scout, but you're probably going to see both of them maybe one day on Sundays. I mean, Nick's a great guy. I couldn't be more proud of him. I've seen him develop so much, and I'm glad I had a little time with him and to see what he's doing. He's having the greatest year any Saluki quarterback's ever had. I had a good career. He's having a great year, and he's had a great career. And then, you know, Joe Flacco, 6'6", 230, he's got a cannon. I mean, what can you say about him? Two good quarterbacks battling it out.
Joe, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rhino, as Hill shows off that arm, but that's a terrific play by the linebacker, Walter Blair, who was able to get a hand and tick it away from Jabril Lewis, the intended receiver. And I'll tell you, Joel is pretty humble. He was a great quarterback, all-time leading passing yards at Southern Illinois. But what a play by Blair.
Yeah, it really was, because you have a linebacker covering a receiver in the slot. And that's one where the offense usually feels they're going to win. And they had a little bit of separation early, but Blair made it up and then made a huge play at the end, knowing where the football was and knocking it away.
And that is the first stop for Delaware on a third down. So the first time we've seen Scott Ravenesi, who had a school record 83-yard punt last week. That one's boomed to Aaron Love. Love makes the first few guys miss, and Love with a flag down is taken down at the 40. 55-yard punt, a nice 29-yard return, but it's probably coming back.
That was a heck of a punt by Ravenesi to get it out there that far. But a lot of times when you get those, you know, you've heard the saying, they outkick the coverage. That's exactly what happened. But I think there was an illegal block by the Blue Hens, and that's what's going to happen. It's going to have to come back. Yeah, it was a clip right there. It looked like Marvin McKinney, I think, is the guy who did it, number 38.
McKinney very undersized at 5'9", 150.
Block in the back by the receiving team, number 21, half the distance from the spot of the foul. First down.
Actually, they don't say it is McKinney, but...
Well, here it is right there. I know it's kind of rolling on you, but you see right there, that's where the illegal block was, a clip. And that's a really bad one because it's so far away from the play. You don't need to block a guy even, you know, that far away. You don't even need to block him, let alone clip him.
Well, that negates the huge gain. Mark Duncan, the wide receiver, called for the block in the back, and Delaware is pushed all the way back inside the 10, starting this drive from the 8. Mashad in motion gets the ball as he comes around from his wide receiver position and then is taken out of bounds, but he picked up about 8 yards on the play.
And that's a wrinkle you see a lot of teams using right now, where they try and get the ball in the hands of their fast slot receiver types. I've heard them call it the orbit sweep or the jet sweep, where they send him over there in motion, time up the snap, get him the football on a full speed run to the perimeter, and Mashad shows he's got a little bit of jump.
He's a sprinter in high school and showed a little bit of that speed, picking up 9, 2nd and 1. And Cup spins around close to the first down. Taken down almost immediately after he touched the football. Well, there's some question as to whether or not Delaware would even get into the playoffs. They did not end the regular season strongly, and here they are, a win away from the national championship, as he was bottled up right away and stopped short of the first down. Brandon Jordan, the middle linebacker, coming in there to muck things up. Well, Casey Keeler's team reeling a little bit as they lost a 5 overtime game to Richmond and then lost at Villanova. And there was some question as to whether or not the Blue Hens would get into the 16-team playoff. They got in, beat Delaware State handily, the first time those two teams have ever played. And then the huge come-from-behind win at Northern Iowa last week to get them here, as Cuff did pick up the first down for the Blue Hens. And there they are now, sitting at 10-3, but only 5-3 in the CAA. Did get up to number 10 before their season went south a little bit. Big win at Navy, and a huge win against the #1 seed Northern Iowa. And Cuff again is able to get into the second level and get a first down. 14 yards for Cuff.
Boy, just great blocking across the board for Omar Cuff on this one. I mean, watch this. There's going to be a hat for a hat everywhere. Bam. You see everybody's blocked down the way, and when you get that kind of thing happening, Mike Byrne, that right tackle, had the best block out of all of them. But when you get hats on hats, Omar Cuff could flat out find the open space as he showed on that last run.
8 carries for 45 yards so far for Cuff, who was hampered last season. Did not play 4 games and then played the rest of the way hampered by a high ankle sprain. Only had 541 yards. Which for most guys is a pretty good season, but for him not. He had 8 touchdowns and 5.6 yards per carry so far this afternoon. The officials waiting for the clock to reset. There it goes, and now we're ready after a brief delay. Another first down for Delaware. Flacco looks to his right, finds his receiver. It's Mashad again, and Mashad picks up about 8. The junior from Levittown, Pennsylvania, was an all-CAA third team this season. Chris Arthur's with the stop, and boy, Joe Flacco, slow start, but since then he hasn't missed.
Yeah, kind of the same pattern that they followed last week in their victory over the #1 ranked team in the FCS, Northern Iowa. Started out slow and then got that offense rolling behind Joe Flacco.
And one thing the coaches told us about Flacco, he just doesn't get flustered. No matter what. That ball floated a little bit on him, but Duncan was able to catch it for another Delaware first down. Caught that in front of Williams. His 3rd catch of the afternoon.
That's a long throw that he just made there, Pan. I mean, it did flutter a little bit, but they had the ball on the far hash, and he's throwing a hitch out to the numbers on the other side. You got to have a bit of a rocket to get that thing out there, and that just showed you the strength of Joe Flacco's arm, and that's what everybody, all the scouts are drooling about, not only the size and stature of him, but then the rocket arm. He can throw it out of position, off balance. He still has the strength to make good throws, and that's important.
Steps up, and then a flag is down as he was going for the touchdown catcher, Robbie Agnone. Ball now into Southern Illinois territory, but a flag in the Delaware backfield.
Face mask
against Delaware.
Here's a look at that last throw, not the previous play, but the one I was talking about, the distance that Flacco put on it. And you see almost a little bit of a sidearm he's got when he whips the ball out there a little bit. He kind of throws it from a different platform sometimes. He can go over the top. He can also go sidearm. You see more of that sidearm out of him when he's got pressure on him and his feet don't get set as well as he'd like.
He's the tallest quarterback in Delaware history, as there was a face mask called against Rich Beverly, the right guard. He's 6'6". Scott Bruner, remember him at Delaware. Played in the NFL for a little spell, was 6'5". And the penalty makes it 1st and 25. Big hole now for Flacco to get out of, and that one is thrown high. Mashad, the intended receiver. So Flacco, who's from Audubon, New Jersey, which is in South Jersey near Philadelphia, was at the University of Pittsburgh for a couple of years, including a redshirt year, backed up Tyler Palco, transferred to Delaware. Dave Wanstedt refused to release him from his scholarship, so he had to pay, his dad did, his parents, out-of-state tuition to go to Delaware for the first year.
And he also had to sit out that first year. Had he been released, he could have gotten a scholarship and played. And, you know, to his credit, he harbors no bitterness to Pittsburgh and Dave Ronstadt. I thought that was really big of Joe Flacco, the way he was able to put that behind him and move on.
He said things have certainly worked out for him here at Delaware, I should say. The Blue Hens calling a timeout, down 10-7. Illinois 10-7 in this Division I semifinal. The winner has a meeting against Appalachian State. NCAA Division I Football Championship concludes December 14th on ESPN2. Game coverage starts at 8 Eastern. For a preview of every NCAA National Championship, go to ncaasports.com as that pass is completed to Aaron Love. ncaasports.com, the official online home for all 88 NCAA championships, as you can get ready for the Division II championship next week, the Division III championship next week, and the football championship series. We've got 3 of them coming up, and they decide it the right way, on the field.
Yeah, that's a pretty good way to do it, I think.
How about that? How novel is that?
Somebody got a good idea going there.
3rd and 5 for Delaware. Pressure, but Flacco hangs in there, and Delaware wants a flag, and they'll get it as Mashad was covered up by Brandon Williams, who looked like he grabbed him in the middle of the field.
No, he mauled him the whole way on the route. Williams got up in the face of Mashad and started pounding on him, and never really let him go. You take a look at it right here. There's Williams, number 6. You see him grab, hold, and he's on a hold. He's got a hold, still got a hold. And it was an overthrow. The timing was disrupted because of the way Williams grabbed the hold there.
Pass interference, defense, number 6. It's a spot foul, but results in a first down.
And they were talking about whether that was a catchable ball or not, I think, the officials, when they met together there, Pam, and they determined that it was, and it was to me, because he would have been there at that spot had he not been held and molested by Williams.
First downs now even at 8 apiece after Southern Illinois had 7 to Delaware's none to start this game off. Cuff gets a couple out of what should have been nothing, as Trevor Moe, who is an all-Gateway honorable mention linebacker out of Garrett, Indiana. As a brother also on the team, makes the stop for the Salukis.
Yeah, this is a pretty good group of linebackers for the Salukis. Chauncey Mixon, Brandon Jordan, Trevor Moe. All of them garnering some form of all Gateway Conference honors.
Nixon actually playing with a broken hand. More play action. That's the same play that they scored the touchdown on. Robbie Agnone scored the touchdown, and that time the tight end slipped out for a 5-yard gain. For more on Flacco, the quarterback for Delaware, here's Dave Ryan.
Pam, watching Joe Flacco on the sidelines here, Delaware side, you see really one thing. The guy is unflappable. He seems so calm and mellow under pressure. He told us this week he grew up a huge fan of Joe Montana and Dan Marino. Now he loves to watch Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. He says he loves to watch the decision makers. It's all about being able to act under pressure and make the right call for your team, which he's done a lot of this year.
Absolutely, Rhino, and he said that's really what separates you at that level, as Cuff goes forward for another Blue Hen first down. So many guys with the physical ability, but in the NFL, and he talks, we talked to actually the other quarterback, Nick Hill, who went to the Manning football camp, and he said that what really impressed him, and Flacco certainly can attest to this, is the way these guys prepare for their games, and they're perfectionists.
Perfectionists indeed. In fact, Nick Hill was telling us about Peyton Manning. He went down to the Manning camp, and Peyton, if he made a mistake, he wouldn't let anybody else go until he got it ironed out. And he was really impressed by that.
And Flacco, cut from the same cloth as Nick Hill, slings it out, completes it to Duncan, and he is enveloped after a 5-yard gain. Trevor Moe in on yet another tackle. That's 4 catches now for Duncan. And really the linebackers, the strengths of both of these respective defenses.
Boy, we talked about Joe Flacco's arm strength. Watch him flick this one out here. Just a real quick zip. That one's got some heat on it. Let me tell you, that's a nice little grab there by his receiver to pull that one in, because that thing was coming hot, and Duncan was able to catch it. But that's just, and it's effortless too. That's the thing about his arm strength. He's not overthrown or anything. He just zips it out there.
Flacco's hit 9 of his last 10 throws, gives it to Cuff, and Omar able to keep his feet going down to the 20-yard line. Brandon Jordan and Trevor Moe making the stop. And boy, this is almost like a carbon copy of last week. They were down 10-0 at Northern Iowa. Here they are on the road in another hostile environment, down 10-0, and they're charging.
And this is vintage Delaware football right now, with the ability to mix in the run of Omar Cuff and then the strong arm and the quick throws coming from Joe Flacco. This is what they do right here. 2
tight ends. Flacco puts his big body right in the middle to try to pick up the first down, and he might not have gotten it as Brandon Jordan, the sophomore from Kenner, Louisiana, stopped it up. And they actually have a pretty good pipeline to Louisiana here in Carbondale.
Boy, Brandon Jordan did a heck of a job on this quarterback sneak. A lot of times your linebackers don't even get involved in it. He's able to get up into the line and bam, right there, make the hit, push Flacco back, and then hold him back, and then other people arrive. That's a heck of a play on a quarterback sneak by the linebacker Jordan.
Flacco didn't have a chance even with the second effort. And Delaware on 4th and 1 going for it. They give it to Cuff, and Cuff goes backwards. A great stand by the Saluki defense. Delaware didn't make it on a 3rd and 1 and had no chance on the 4th and 1.
Boy, Brandon Jordan again, Pam, you're so right. The big middle linebacker stepped up in there on a second consecutive short yardage play and makes a huge hit, and it keeps the legs driving and knocks his guy back. There he is right down here at the bottom. Watch him step up, bam, make that hit, and then keep the legs driving and get the push back. And that makes all the difference. When you get a short yardage play, you got to tackle him high and then push him back, keep your feet driving. And Jordan got Cuff before he could launch himself into the air.
Well, Delaware, instead of kicking what would have been about a 47-yard field goal, went for it, did not get it, and Randall finds daylight and a first down. The field goal kicker, Strajewski, his career long is 47, so they would have been testing the limits of that. But Brandon Jordan, he was the man on that last defensive series.
He was huge. I mean, in 2 short yardage plays, less than a yard, he comes in, slams the quarterback sneak, and then gets Omar Cuff before he can launch himself over the top. So give Brandon Jordan the stop on that one.
Brandon's dad was Buford Jordan, a Saints running back from 1986 to 1992. Grew up down in Kenner, Louisiana by New Orleans. John Randall moving. Oh, the offensive lineman kept pursuing the play downfield as Randall was stopped.
You're seeing the Salukis, Pam, now start to run to the left side a little bit more. Early on in the ball game, it was a lot of right side stuff, but the last few have been to the left, and that's where, admittedly, they like to go. When we talked to Matt Limegrove, the offensive coordinator, he realizes he's got some beef over on that side with Lockwood and Marquez, a couple of all-conference guys. You know, why not? If you've got them, run behind them.
2nd and 8. Hill fires it short, where it is caught by Justin Allen, but since he was on the ground, he's stopped immediately. That's his first catch. Allen, the senior from Glenpool, Oklahoma.
To make sure this one was a catch, take a look at it right here. You can see that the ball looks like it hit the ground off his chest to me. I don't know. That's a tough one right there. I think they're going to let it slide, though.
No stoppage of play. Allen, the leading receiver with 52 catches on the season, but that's his first catch today. Hill gets his fullback Burgess out of the backfield for another first down. All 3 timeouts remaining for the Salukis, trying to get on the board after their defense came up with a stop. Delaware went 72 yards on a drive that lasted 6 minutes and 45 seconds, got nothing out of it, and now Jerry Kill's team trying to get a score.
Oh, and this is all set up by the running game. And Burgess, the fullback, he's been leading the run, and then they slip him through there. Instead of leading on the run, he's faking that and getting out to the flat for a pass. Nice play call.
Now Randall is run down from behind by Matt Markerell, the captain of the defense. Picked up between 2 and 3 yards. Markerell had another big game last week in the win at Northern Iowa. Forced a fumble and then recovered it on Delaware's 15-yard line. His 5 forced fumbles, a Delaware season record.
Casey Keeler told us he could play anywhere on the field he wanted. Tight end, corner, safety. He's that athletic.
Pass complete. First down, Southern Illinois. Alan Turner with another catch. And the Salukis driving with just over a minute left to go in the half.
Again, Walters gives a huge cushion. And I'm telling you, they're checking to that on the line. When they get that 9-yard cushion, they're just going to hitch it up in front of them every time. That's an automatic that Nick Hill goes to when he has that set.
First down from the 38.
At it again.
Oh, and catching it is Turner again, this time in front of Anthony Walters. 5th catch of the day for Turner, who got it right before Walters hit him. And they elect not to take the timeout as the clock winds down inside 40 seconds.
Yeah, they got 3 left. I'm surprised they didn't go to one there.
And Hill hangs on to it, runs for the first down. Blair with the stop, so the clock will stop here as they reset the chains with 28 seconds left to go. And a timeout is taken by the Salukis. They have the ball from the 23 on the 23 with a first down when we return.
Each Heisman finalist chances of winning. Also give you the pros and cons of coaching at Michigan, Arkansas, and UCLA. Take you through a big day of top 25 hoops. That's all at the half, Pam.
Thank you, Dari. We look forward to that. We will see you 28 playing seconds from now, as Southern Illinois within striking distance of scoring again. Hill throws it incomplete. Ryan Kearns was his intended receiver, but it was just beyond his outstretched hands.
Yeah, this is the area of the field where the Salukis love to get the tight ends involved. Kearns being the featured guy, and then Byron Geddes as well. They love to sneak him down the middle of the field. Had him open initially early, but Hill didn't get it to him quick enough, and it got covered.
Ryan Kearns is his brother Andrew Kearns is the guy who's been lining up as a tight end wearing number 92. Aaron Lockwood is the fullback again. This time he's a blocker. All the time in the world for Hill. A flag is down as Alan Turner makes the catch at the 3-yard line, but a flag down back at the 24.
Well, what a job by Alan Turner, though, of getting his head turned around and then finding the football. Hill threw it before he broke, and a little bit behind him as he's working on Graves over there. But give Turner a lot of credit for getting his head around and finding the football here. See how this is going to hit him in the back shoulder there a little bit. He reached back, made a heck of a grab on it.
Well, and it's too bad for Turner and the Salukis because that is coming back. It's an offensive face mask, personal foul against Southern Illinois. There was one called earlier in the game against Delaware.
Jerry Kill not
personal
happy.
Foul, face mask, offense number 68, 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat, second down.
That's the center, Mike Farrell.
Jerry Kill trying to get an explanation on the sideline.
There's the center right there. Keep an eye on him. He's the one who gets called for it. You see he's got right a hole in the big face mask right there. Good call by the official. Looked like he had a hold of Julian James.
So instead of having the ball inside the 5, that is a sack. Now they're debating whether or not to say it's a grounding, it looks like. Bernard McCumbee making the stop, but they're going to call it incomplete. One of the officials had his hand on his flag. He was fixing to throw that thing, but decided instead to go ahead and say it's an incomplete pass.
Yeah, and Hill was out of the pocket, and he got the ball up to the line of scrimmage. So, to me, that's a good, smart play by Hill, saving himself some yards. You see him right here. He's going to get, just as he goes down, he gets it almost close to the line of scrimmage, and that's all you need. But they might look at that and see if his knee was down before he threw the football, which is, I think, the case.
That's what I saw when I first saw it. It should have been a sack, and apparently that is what they're going to look at.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a sack, because watch this look right here. You're going to see knee hits, still got the foot, bam, right there, still got the football. So that'll be a sack.
Bernard McCumbee, the redshirt freshman from Lowell, Massachusetts, a civil engineering major for Delaware, whose final exam started yesterday. So they are dealing with a lot other than just football right now.
Oh, you ain't kidding.
That's a real major too, Ray. Civil engineering.
Yeah,
goodness.
And Delaware was behind the 8 ball in terms of getting their football homework done this week. You know, because of the travel problems they had. Then they had server problems at the university, and they couldn't get the film. And speaking with Omar Cuff this week, usually he gets his cut-ups, his tapes to watch on Sunday night. Didn't get him till Tuesday. He was pretty upset about it. Now, the other guy that wasn't upset too much is Joe Flacco, because Joe is one of those guys that he's got that uncanny ability to let that stuff just flow off him like water off a duck's back, and just, man, whatever it is, we'll get it done, don't worry about it. So he wasn't the least perturbed, but Omar Cuff was a little upset.
Yeah, and a lot of these guys, it's amazing. Kevin Mashad, the wide receiver, also a civil engineering major and a math minor, didn't bring his homework with him to study for the final exam because he figured they'd be home Saturday night, but because of the bad weather in Iowa, didn't get home till Monday afternoon. So, you know, these guys are catching up in very difficult majors to get their work in and then get ready for finals.
Yeah, I think sometimes people forget the student part of student athlete, and they don't realize that these guys have a lot of commitments, not only with the football program, but also trying to earn a degree.
That play still under review. Here we go.
After review, video evidence confirms that we will reverse the play. Quarterback was down on the 43-yard line. Therefore, it is 3rd down. The clock will start on the ready.
That's it. That's a good job by the replay officials. Jim Allison up there in the booth with the correct call.
Yeah, well, we saw it earlier, and you can see it again, that the knee is definitely going to be down for Nick Hill before the ball comes out. Bam, right there, knees down, ball's in his hand. Good look by the officials.
Good time for McCumbee to get his first sack of the season. Another timeout, so let's head down to Dave Ryan. Dave.
All right, Pam, we talked at the top of the broadcast about the wacky travel Delaware had out of northern Iowa last week when Mother Nature intervened and they got iced in. They didn't get out until Monday, and Ray talked a moment ago about how the kids didn't get the DVDs until Tuesday, which is really different than their normal preparation. Well, the trip here wasn't easy either. As we all know from flying into St. Louis, about 2 hours north of here, there was ice and snow on Thursday night when Delaware traveled. Guess what? Their flight got diverted to Evansville, Indiana, and they had to take a bus 3 hours. So that long, wacky week just got longer for Delaware. But as Casey Kiro told us before the game, the head coach, hey, we're glad we traveled Thursday, not Friday, because of the weather.
Well, it just won't stop for them, but they're hoping that just so they get to Chattanooga next week, it means they're still playing, and that obviously is what it's all about for these guys who are supposed to charter out tonight after the game. Hill under pressure, throwing it in the corner of the end zone, and it is knocked down. The Hail Mary, the last play of the first half. Phil Goforth had an opportunity, number 88 back there.
Yeah, hit him on the finger and hands. That could have been a big touchdown. Again, look at this. This ball's going to get tipped. And watch it hit Goforth right in the hands. Right there. Oh, stick him out a little farther.
Split second more, or a quicker reaction. Could have had the touchdown. So Southern Illinois goes into the locker room with a 10-7 lead over Delaware in the Division I football semifinals. Dave Ryan standing by with Southern Illinois coach Jerry.
All right, Pam, we're All right, Pam, joined by Jerry Kill, head coach, Southern Illinois. Team got off to a great start here, Coach, 10-0. How'd you manage that today?
Well, I think we executed pretty good, but, you know, we turned the ball over, and then we've had a couple opportunities to score, and we haven't taken advantage of that. So we can't make those kind of mistakes, and we got to come back with the same type of intensity.
Your center, Mike Farrell, had that big personal foul at the end of the first half. You're driving. It looked like in the red zone you might get at least a field goal try. How does that affect your momentum with no points at the end of the first half?
Well, it's certainly going to try to affect it, but that's my job as head coach. We're going to get in there and see if we can't get that straightened out and come back and play a good second half.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, Rhino, and one thing his coordinator said is that Jerry Kill is so good at that. They do the game planning. Kill goes in and deals with all the other motivational stuff. No doubt he'll get them back on the right track. They're up by 3 at the half as we go to Dory Noka and Ed Cunningham.
All right, Pam.
Welcome back to the NCAA Football Championship presented on ESPN by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. The Division I semifinals, pretty much what we expected it to be, maybe a little bit low scoring. Southern Illinois leading Delaware 10-7 as we get ready for the second half. Pam, we're joined here by Ray Bentley. Two high-powered offenses, but only at least we have a ball game, only a 3-point ball game.
Yeah, and you got to wonder if Southern Illinois is going to look back at those couple of missed opportunities that they had and, you know, hate themselves for those things. But I look for this one to really come right down to the wire at the end. Both football teams played pretty well in the first half. We'll see what they can come up with here in the second half.
Head coach Jerry Kill mentioned that to Dave Ryan before he went off. That he went off for half, that those opportunities fell by the wayside. There was a big 15-yard penalty that came in their last drive. Delaware had a big 65-yard drive that ended up for naught because they lost the ball on downs. Kervin Mashad gets the opening kickoff of the second half for Delaware and takes it out to the 31-yard line. That's where the Blue Hens will start. Let's take a look now at the Coke Zero game track.
Well, it all started out early on with John Randall getting some yards on the ground and then busts through, gets himself a touchdown. He's been outstanding, but Joe Flacco can get it done. He finds his tight end Agnon on a kind of a tight end delay, snuck him out to the flat, got the score there. And the defense on the fourth down made the huge play. Brandon Jordan, that inside linebacker, got it done.
Eric Johnson has an interception for the Blue Hens. It snuffed out a drive. Little trickery now as a throw by Aaron Love to Cuff. Love, the wide receiver, hits Omar Cuff for a huge gain. Kirk Shiraka, the offensive coordinator, drawing up a trick play, and it works.
Boy, they just snuck Cuff off. He was in pass protection, blocking on the backside. He made his block, and he was going to sneak out. And you see the double pass on the backside. Nobody left. Home back here. Bam. Love hits Cuff. And Delaware pulls a trick out of the bag to get it going here to start the second half.
What a play. 42 yards to put the ball on the 27. Flacco with time flings it out to the right to Mashad. And he is tackled inbounds by Trevor Moe. So Delaware's offense, first in the Colonial Athletic Association, 8th in the country, averaging 38.6 points per game. And Flacco got off to that bad start. Since then, he has only misfired on one of his last 10 throws. The Delaware offense coming out firing to open up the second half. 2nd and 4. And nothing doing on that play. Trevor Moe leading a charge of a half a dozen Saluki defenders to drop Omar Cuff.
And then another flag came in late. Figure out what they called down here. There's going to be a holding on Delaware.
Delaware in the first half flagged for 3 penalties for 28 yards, and they're about to go back farther here on the holding call.
Holding, offense, number 74, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat, second down.
Left tackle Kevin Ewell in for Greg Benson, who tore his ACL for the 4th time in his career in the first round playoff game 2 weeks ago against Delaware State. And they're also playing with John Herman at left guard for Corey Nicholson. Nicholson was hurt in the very first play last week, a hit pointer against Northern Iowa.
Yeah, and that really has hurt the Delaware offense. Not having the continuity of those guys that have been in there kind of makes it hard sometimes.
Penalty makes it 2nd and 14 now. Salukis bringing the blitz, and Flacco goes down. He is sacked by Chauncey Mixon. Mixon playing with a broken hand. You see the cast on his right hand. Broke that last week against UMass. Continued to play in that game and is out there again today.
Boy, he's working on Kevin Ewell here, right at the right side of your screen. A spin move, and then the relentless continuation of the pass rush. Good coverage down the field. Nowhere for Flacco to go with it. It breaks down, and Chauncey Mixon makes the huge play.
They lose 6 yards on that sack. Delaware facing a 3rd and 20. Started this drive on the inside the 30.
Omar Cuff coming down as a wide receiver, but Delaware didn't like it.
And the timeout is taken. So Chauncey Mixon, one of the best players on Southern Illinois, coming up with a huge play. Got a broken hand, still gets in there for the sack. Southern Illinois playing for the right to take on 2-time defending champion Appalachian State next Friday, 8 Eastern on ESPN2 for the football championship national title. After the timeout, Delaware, Joe Flacco looking for Cuff. And can't get it to him as Craig Turner was down on the coverage. And Cuff is the terrific running back who also has done a great job receiving coming into this game, had 48 catches on the season.
Yeah, they love to put him out there, but you see Joe Flacco, he looked to the right for a primary kind of a wide receiver and then came back at the end to Cuff, and boy, he almost got that one in there.
So the sack driving Delaware out of field goal range. Stuart Kenworthy trying to pin one inside, but that's going to hit the end zone and come out for a touchback. So Southern Illinois will start its first possession of the second half from the 20. Kenworthy, another guy who walked onto this football team for Delaware. Coming up later tonight, more football. It's a big one on ESPN2 at 9 Eastern. Grand Valley State takes on Northwest Missouri State, the semifinals of the NCAA Division II Championship. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. And the Lakers are certainly the cream of the Division II crop.
Boy, it sure appears that way. Win 40 games in a row.
Not bad at all.
That's pretty creamy.
So Southern Illinois, which got out to a 10-0 lead in this game, gets the ball for the first time. Nick Hill, the quarterback, hanging on to it. And Hill is their 4th leading rusher on the season. Gets close to a first down as Eric Johnson makes a stop. Let's go down to the field and Dave Ryan.
All right, Pam, at halftime, I did speak with Delaware head coach Casey Keeler. He said he was very disappointed in his team's inability to convert on that big 4th down and short toward the end of the first half. He said one of his blockers did not pick up the Mike linebacker, the middle linebacker on that play. Love the momentum his team created by the stop at the end of the first half. What he wants to do, have the big plays like the double pass start of this quarter and avoid big plays from Southern Illinois.
And that drive got off to a great start as the first down is run for by John Randall on the double pass, but then penalty and a sack stalled the first drive for Delaware. Casey Keeler was a terrific linebacker at the University of Delaware in the late 70s up through 1980. Played for the legendary Tubby Raymond. Won a Division II national championship when Delaware was still playing in that division. 6 career interceptions, and he loves being at the University of Delaware. Says it's a great place to coach. The fans are incredible, and they are always right up there among the national leaders in their football championship series attendance.
Yeah, and Coach Keeler actually has a record there. You mentioned his 6 career interceptions, fam. He had a deal where he had 3 interceptions on successive possessions. Now that's a record. That's pretty good defense.
That's pretty good, and that's half of his career interceptions. And there you see his ties, and he says he loves being in Newark, Delaware. Great place to live. He says it's like a family to him. And he says they have the best fans in the country. He says he wants to be around for quite a while. But with success comes some attention, as that pass is completed up to Alan Turner.
Yeah, some attention in the terms of other people wanting him to coach their football team. Here's a look at the Delaware 2003 championship that Coach Keeler became the 4th head coach in Delaware history to win a national championship. And by the way, they've only had 4 head coaches in their history. The other 3 are in the College Football Hall of Fame. And so Coach Keeler knows he's got some big shoes to fill there. He's done an admirable job doing so.
Well, right now they're trying to stop Nick Hill, and that's a great defensive play as it's ruled incomplete. Charles Graves hit Rick Burgess, the fullback, as soon as the ball landed in his hands. That would have been a completion had it not been for the timely hit by Graves.
Yeah, we saw that play earlier work for the Salukis when they hit Burgess out in the flat with that pass. This time Delaware reacted much quicker to that. Graves came up and took it away, and also the middle linebacker Eric Johnson was in on that coverage.
So instead of a first down, Scott Revanesi comes in for his second punt. His first one was a boomer, 55 yards. He's been on fire as that one rolls towards the end zone, and Aaron Love picks it up close to the goal line. And then in his run out of bounds, Love sort of in no man's land that time, deciding to pick it up rather than have it roll dead around the 2. 58-yard punt that time for Ravenesi. Southern Illinois with the 3-point lead.
ESPN by Enterprise Rent-A-Car is brought to you by TiVo. Ho, 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 perfect for the holidays.
I don't know if there's a better sight than ribs smoking. What do you think?
I don't know. We went over there and had some nice dinner on Thursday night, and I had me a big old plate of them ribs. Very good.
How'd it work for you? Pretty well?
Yeah, it worked out real well.
Here in Southern Illinois, we are in Carbondale, in a part of the country very close to the Tennessee border, and you have to really fly into St. Louis as the closest major airport, and that's a couple hours away in Missouri. So these fans all fired up with this football team with an opportunity to play in the national championship game for the first time since 1983 when they won the national championship. There were some very lean years, but then Jerry Kill came riding in and really has rescued this program. And like Casey Keeler, Coach Kill's name is coming up now. It's a possibility of moving on up with all those coaching vacancies in college football. Flacco taken off, and the Delaware quarterback lost his mouthpiece back around the 15-yard line, and then is hit down around the 35 by Brandon Williams. That's a 22-yard scramble for the quarterback.
Yeah, I don't know. He had stuff falling off of him the whole time he was running. I don't know, a mouth guard, piece of tape. He was just leaving trash on the field. And you don't see him run a whole heck of a lot, but when he does, you see he's got some ability to go ahead and make a play. And you see the first thing drop off of him. Then he leaves the football on the ground, too. But he was down, the ball hit the ground. That's what knocked it out. So no fumble on the play.
Clearly down. It actually was a hand warmer that fell out, not his mouth guard.
Yeah, he could use that. I could use that.
Yeah, we'll take it if he wants to leave it on the field. Mark Duncan gets the pass and is forced out around the 35-yard line as another flag is on the field.
Yeah, it's going to be holding again on Delaware, I believe.
And indeed it is. So the Blue Hens again pushed back.
And that's the thing, boy. Today they've really hurt themselves whenever all of a sudden they get something going and they make a mistake.
Holding. Offense. Number 77. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat, first down.
And that is John Herman, who mentioned earlier that he is in for Corey Nicholson, who is the usual starter at left guard. But Nicholson hurt on the first play from scrimmage in last week's win, at Northern Iowa. That was a huge win in very hostile Cedar Falls, Iowa. So 1st and 20 with the holding call for the Blue Hens. Flacco with time, has his tight end and hits him in full stride. Robbie Agnone, who, like the quarterback, transferred from Pittsburgh with a big 44-yard gain.
Boy, and Trevor Moe needs some help there because he's got man-to-man coverage on the tight end coming out of the slot, and there's no safety there that helps him, and he just runs right past him. Here he is. You got 53 covering the tight end, and the safety, Marty Rogers, number 8, got caught with his eyes in the backfield, and he never was able to help Trevor Moe on Agnone.
Agnone's 3rd catch of the day that includes a touchdown catch, a 9-yarder back in the 2nd quarter for Delaware's only score. Now it's the other guy, Omar Cuff, the big weapon on the ground, who goes for the 1st down. Clayton Johnson makes the stop, but 15 yards downfield.
And boy, he does a nice job running the middle of the field, does Omar Cuff. And they run a lot of inside zone with him. And that's where he excels, right between the tackles, where he can stick it up in there. And he has such great acceleration once he sees the hole open up. As you see a Saluki down on the field. Looks like Clayton Johnson, their all-conference free safety, rolling around.
Now Johnson made the tackle on Cuff and paid for it. Johnson, as Ray mentioned, is a terrific safety, teaming up with Marty Rogers at the strong safety spot, one of the strong points on this defense. Last week, Johnson was terrific in their win against UMass with 16 tackles and an interception, and he's holding on to that right limb.
Yeah, you see him flexing the hand a little bit, but I mentioned about Omar Cuff and where he likes to run the football, and you see, and not much to the right side, but look at all that right up the middle. That's where he likes to go on that inside zone. 12 totes for 70 yards right up the pipe today.
Kenny Walker has checked in for Clayton Johnson, the free safety who is out after hurting his right arm. Flacco has pressure coming from behind, throws into the end zone. He's got Agnone again. A terrific play by Craig Turner at the last second, saves the touchdown.
Wow, what an amazing football play on several fronts. First of all, the strength of Joe Flacco to get out of the trouble that he was in as Devon Reese was coming after it. And take a look at this. He's got Reese coming on the backside. He's got eyes in the back of his head. Somehow he escapes that. And then watch him flick the football even while he's leaning back. And I'll tell you what, Craig Turner just got a hand to knock it away, or that had been 6 points.
Flag is down before this play gets off the ground. But, boy, Agnone was in there getting ready for his 2nd touchdown grab of the day. And Craig Turner, who is a terrific punt and kick returner, makes the play in the backfield.
Oh, he's got unbelievable speed, and he needed all of it there. Just able to reach out and get the fingertips and knock away what would have been a sure touchdown for the Blue Hens.
Turner came.
12 men in the formation, 5-yard penalty from the previous spot, still 2nd down.
All right, so 12 men on the field, so 5 yards tacked the other way against Southern Illinois. Turner actually came here as a running back and then was switched over to DB, and is a 3-time all-gateway first-teamer as far as being a returner is concerned, and also plays a nifty corner. 2nd and 5 after the penalty from the 11. Cuff spins and then goes down just inside the 10-yard line. Marty Rogers, the strong safety, makes the stop after a 3-yard gain by Cuff, so they're 2 yards short of the 1st down.
Nice job of Joe Flacco handling the high snap, getting it down and into Cuff's breadbasket. And then Cuff showed you the vision and the quickness that he has, making that quick spin move to get out of trouble and avoid a loss.
3rd and 2 for Delaware.
They like the tight end down in this area.
They're 2 for 6 on 3rd downs today. Pressure coming. Flacco throws it into the end zone. Touchdown. Delaware has its first lead. Mashad with the catch. And once again, Flacco showing some poise under pressure to get rid of it and throw a 2nd touchdown pass tonight.
Yeah, and there's Williams. You see him. He just gives an outside fake. Excuse me, it's actually Mashad gives the outside fake on Williams. Williams just bit on it a little bit, tried to grab a hold of Mashad, but he wasn't able to. And Flacco's keeping the play alive flicks it out there for the 6-pointer.
Third touchdown catch of the season for Mashad. Strayevsky with the extra point. Mashad again is the civil engineering major with a math minor, all academic in his conference, and made a great catch. Good play. Flacco to Mashad. And for the first time today, Delaware has the lead. Welcome back. Delaware with a 14-10 lead thanks to Joe Flacco showing some great poise, leading his team on that drive. He was 3 for 5, including the touchdown pass, and threw it to that guy, Kervin Mashad, for the touchdown. Delaware with a 14-10 lead over Southern Illinois. Delaware, that's the 13th, number 13 in the country, heading into this 16-team tournament.
Yeah, and our spotter, Pam, Bill Garrity, said, hey, Flacco looked like an NFL guy on that last one. He's right, he did.
Also had a 22-yard rush on the drive as Richard White, the freshman, true freshman running back there as a return man, as a flag comes in behind the play. White tackled up around the 38-yard line. Quite a few flags in this game. Ed Rhodes is our referee.
I think they're throwing them just to stay warm.
Maybe. There's 10 penalties, 5 and 5 for each team now. It is rather chilly here in Carbondale. Tonight right here on ESPN at 8 Eastern, college football's heroes of the past welcome a new member to their exclusive club. It's the Heisman Trophy presentation presented by Nissan. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. Colt Brennan, Chase Daniel, Darren McFadden, Tim Tebow are your 4 finalists. Who do you got, Ray?
Well, I like Darren McFadden. He's the guy I would vote for if I were to have a vote, and then probably Tebow would be number 2, and then I'd pick Matt Ryan from Boston College as my 3rd guy.
Even though he is not a finalist, it's supposed to go to the best college football player. So tune in tonight, 8 Eastern time on ESPN. Penalty pushes Southern Illinois all the way back to the 11-yard line. And they get a lot of breathing room. In fact, a first down. John Randall stopped by Charles Graves, but picked up a dozen. Let's go back to talk about the Heisman, the #1 college football award, and this is the way you see it, right?
Yeah, that's it. Darren McFadden, #1, based on that performance he had against LSU, which was unbelievable. I think I don't know how you can single-handedly win a football game, but if you could, he did. And that's kind of what put him over the hump as far as I was concerned.
Just a terrific back. Randall now over 100 yards after that last rush. Time for Hill, and that's interference as Justin Allen was blanketed by Fred Andrew. And Southern Illinois is going to get another first down out of this.
Justin Allen's a good story. He just stayed with it on that last one, and Hill was able to find him. But Allen's a former quarterback here. Moved from quarterback in 06, and he also played quarterback at Northeastern Oklahoma A&M, and he was looked at as a pretty big prospect.
Defense, number 24. That's a spot foul with automatic first down.
See the foul on Fred Andrew, but he was a big-time prospect as a quarterback, and he fractured his leg, had a compound fracture on his leg, and everybody kind of went away except for Jerry Kill, and Jerry Kill brought him here and then made him a wide receiver, and Allen has really taken to that.
Leading receiver on the season, coming in 52 catches and 6 touchdowns. As Randall gets the carry, picks up 5. Mentioned that Randall is over 100 yards today. His 4th this season and 5th of his career that he has gone over 100 yards in a game. And he also is over 1,000 yards for the season thanks to his efforts tonight.
He has played very well tonight, running the football, and give a lot of credit to that big offensive line getting that job done.
Randall taking over for Archie Whitlock, who is the leading running back, over 4,200 yards in his career at Southern Illinois. Now Hill decides to take off with it, gets the first down, and a whole lot more as he is into Delaware territory. The quarterback, finally induced out of bounds by Anthony Bratton, picks up 24 yards.
Well, Delaware came in with Brian Brown, who's that outside linebacker on the backside, and and you're going to see him. He's right over here, and that's who Nick Hill is looking at and reading initially as far as getting outside. Everything was covered up. He had lost contain, had Delaware, so Hill just took it down and ran it around the end. And that's one of the things that Hill will do. When there's nothing there, he'll find something. He will make a play.
7 carries for 30 yards today, coming in as the 4th leading rusher on the season, the 2nd leading rusher in this game behind John Randall, who has 109 already. Quick hitter is dropped as Justin Allen was unable to bring it in. Tim Pringle among those on the coverage, the linebacker from Yorba Linda, California, who went all the way across country to play at Newark and tiny Delaware, the first state, all of 3 counties in the state of Delaware. Can you name them?
Right? Wow, I know you can. You're a resident of Delaware, I believe.
Newcastle, Kent, and Sussex County.
Wow.
It's easy to do Delaware's counties.
I guess.
Only 3. Takes you about an hour to go through the state. It's great. 2nd and 10 now. As Hill again takes off, goes forward for about a 3-yard gain. Eric Johnson, who had an interception in the first half for Delaware, making the stop, and we had a chance to visit briefly with Nick Hill yesterday. Very impressive young man, all academic first team out of DuQuoin, Illinois, which is close to Carbondale. Went to Western Kentucky on that basketball scholarship, and decided that football was definitely his better sport, and it's proven to be so.
I don't know. I think he'd be a pretty good point guard, too.
He was very, very good. Is that on 3rd and 7, a great lunge forward by Justin Allen to try to get the first down. Marvin McKinney, all 5'9", 150 pounds of him, the corner on the stop, and he is just short of the first down. Another decision for Jerry Kill. I'm guessing he'll go for it here.
Yeah, and this really is on Allen. He's got to go far enough so that if he does make the catch, he's got the first down. And he cut that route just a wee bit short. And that puts Jerry Kill's team in a 4th and inches again, and they're going for it.
Would be a 47-yard field goal, but here they are on 4th and about the length of the football. They converted on 1 4th down, their only 4th down try, and give it to Randall, and he easily gets it, picked up 5 yards. Graves makes the stop, and they give it to their 1,000-yard man, and he gets it easily.
Boy, and they had an interesting formation there, Pam. They had 4 offensive linemen on the right side and 3 on the left. They had, and then the center in the middle. So they had 8 guys up there on the line of scrimmage. And then they bounced it outside, so they drew the defense inside with no wide receivers anywhere, and then bounced it outside where they weren't. Nice play call, nice scheme.
And this drive has been a terrific drive for Southern Illinois. 8th play coming up, and they've already covered 64 yards as a timeout is taken by Delaware, who is only down to 1 now.
Timeout. Delaware.
Let's go back while we have this timeout to Dari Noka in the studio. Dari.
All right, Pam, we've got an update from the Wooden Classic in Anaheim. Number 8 UCLA against Davidson, kind of a chic pick to wreck some brackets in March. Stephen Curry hits Davidson, leading the Bruins by 4 in the Wooden Classic. Back to you.
How about that? Davidson beating mighty UCLA. 4:17 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. The Division I semifinal. The winner plays Appalachian State on Friday. Let's head down to Dave Ryan again. Ryan.
Well, Pam, we talked about the academic prowess of Southern Illinois quarterback Nick Hill. He's a special education major here, wants to teach and be a coach after his playing days are over. Last summer, he organized and ran a football camp for local kids. It was free of charge, so it was not an NCAA violation. Nick says it was a lot of fun. Next year, he plans to tie his summer football camp into Coach Jerry Kill's Cancer Fund to help financially disadvantaged families battling cancer here in the area. 70 kids showed up, and he said it was the best time he ever had coaching those kids.
Isn't that great, Rhino? Great story for Nick Hill. Great student athlete and giving back to the community at such a young, tender age. Holding on to the football, too, and he goes forward to the 20-yard line. Picks up 5 more on the ground. Manny Marshall making the stop for Delaware. And let's take a closer look at Nick Hill, the senior out of DuQuoin, Illinois, and those numbers pretty much say it all. Those are his numbers at Southern Illinois, right up there among the very best.
Yeah, when you're completing almost 69% of your passes career-wise, that means you're pretty good at what you do.
Joe Zamberski right now tops with passing yards as Randall escapes from one would-be tackler. Gets no gain, but at least was able to get something out of it, or at least negate the loss. Walter Blair missed that first tackle. Graves had to clean up.
You know, one thing that Southern Illinois has done a little more of in this second half is they've had Nick Hill run the football by design and also on some scrambles. I'm sure they told him, hey, look for some openings, because it's something they saw in the first half.
Hill on this drive, 3 carries for 27 yards in this Division I semifinal. The winner will play Appalachian State Friday night, 8 Eastern time on ESPN2 for the national championship in Chattanooga. 3rd and 5. Alan Turner, the wide receiver, gets the flip and then is unable to get the first down. Anthony Bratton with good pursuit, and they lose 3 yards on that play.
Yeah, Matt Marcarell came in on his outside pass rush, and he's going to come around there. You see him on the backside, number 11. Then he sees the reverse, the pitch, and he forces Turner to take it a little deeper, and that allows the rest of that defense to react and come up and make the play. Marcarell didn't make the play behind the line, but he bought enough time for his guys to stop that first down try.
Marcarell, only a sophomore. His coaches say he will be an All-American, and the 40-yard field goal attempt is not.
Botched the hold. It looked like a pretty decent snap. And the holder, Justin Allen, couldn't get a handle on the football.
So the attempt to get to within 1 point of Delaware, Doherty doesn't even get his foot on the ball as the snap was not handled cleanly. And there's another example of a drive that ends up with nothing.
Yeah, that was a perfect snap. It looked like to me from Travis Bloomfield is the long snapper there. And it just never was handled properly by Justin Allen.
11 plays, 66 yards, ate up 4 minutes and 42 seconds, and Southern Illinois got nothing. Flacco under pressure, and he goes down. Chauncey Mixon, playing with the cast on his broken right hand, gets to Flacco for the 2nd time today.
Oh, and he beat Omar Cuff, and he did it just by being relentless and keep on coming, and that's what Chauncey Mixon does. He plays with a lot of energy, and he showed you the energy on this one as he wins that outside rip move, and he's a one-armed man right now. I'll tell you what, when you're a one-armed man, you are a dangerous individual. I know from experience, and he's flying around there one-arming it and making plays.
Leading tackler, 113 tackles on the season, led the team also, leads them in tackles for loss, has 2 sacks today, pass complete, and now ruled incomplete as Aaron Love had it for a second, but then Marty Rogers came in with the hit. And Delaware is looking at a 3rd and 19.
Boy, Rogers does a nice job of the break. Look at that. He gets there, and then he gets his hands around the receiver and knocks the ball right out of Aaron Love's hands. That's a heck of a play there by Marty Rogers, coming up and making a play. He's only 5'10", 180, but he gives you every ounce of what he's got.
And the book on him is that he's stronger against the run than he is against the pass, but that was a terrifically timed hit, and also was able to strip the ball away. So now 3rd and 19. Flacco under pressure again, is able to get away. Heaves it downfield, and it is incomplete. Looking for Omar Cuff. Cuff actually made a good play on the ball because it was underthrown, and Mike McElroy had a chance at the interception. The Cuff was able to come back and disrupt the pass.
Yeah, Joe Flacco just took a chance and gave his guy, Omar Cuff, the opportunity to make a play because there was really nowhere to throw the ball. He sees him, he's deep, he's behind everybody, but Flacco didn't really get any air under the ball and throw it as far as he could. He just kind of threw a dime trying to get it there, and it didn't get there.
Oh, that's going to be a roughing on the punter as Stuart Kenworthy just got the ball away and then was run into. Only a 25-yard punt. Brandon Williams and Kyle Walker both converged on the punter, Kenworthy. Kenworthy, another former walk-on, now a starter for Delaware.
You see, I don't know. That's a pretty good job of acting. I don't know where they touch him. You tell me where they touch him. Yeah, I guess a little bit there. Brandon Williams got him on the backside on the hip as he was trying to run by.
And you saw Brandon Williams do when he hit him and went by. He put his arms out like I didn't touch him, and that means I touched him.
Pretty much. But boy, I can understand maybe going after a punt. But you're going to get the ball back in decent field position anyway. Why take that chance?
Running into the kicker of the defense, number 21, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 4th down.
No, they're fortunate they got the running into, which is not an automatic first down, not the personal foul variety, which I think was a good call there.
Yeah, absolutely. It was not a personal foul. Nothing malicious there or egregious, just 5 yards. Still makes it 4th and 14, but it was only a 25-yard punt, so Ken Worthy has another opportunity. And this one is much better. Great hang time, but the returner, Craig Turner, run into way too soon by Marvin McKinney, and now the penalty against Delaware. 40-yard punt and no return, but the penalty upcoming.
And McKinney made the classic error of not knowing where the football is. You got to know where the football is before you can go hit that punt returner. McKinney got there, didn't know where the ball was, and ran into Turner, and that's just a cardinal sin in football. When you cover a punt, the number one thing you have to determine first and foremost, where's the football?
Kick catch interference against the kicking team, number 38. 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. 1st down.
Well, that is a huge penalty. It gives the Salukis the ball at the 44. NCAA Division I Football Championship concludes on ESPN2 Friday night, December 14th. Game coverage starts at 8 Eastern for a preview of every NCAA National Championship, including the 2007 NCAA Division I Football Championship. Go to ncaasports.com, the official online home for all 88 NCAA championships. Next week is championship weekend. You got the football championship series, Division II and Division III title games, all on the ESPN family of networks. Looking forward to it. We'll be doing the D3 game. Ryan Beeler, his first catch. Senior from Taylorville, Illinois. Prindle makes the stop, number 55 for Delaware. And Beeler, another one of these very good student athletes, all academic honorable mention. He's a chemistry major.
I remember chemistry in freshman in high school. That was pretty hard.
How'd you do?
Not so well. Not as good as Nick Hill's doing out here. I think he's outplaying Joe Flacco today. You know, Flacco comes in here with a lot of people talking about NFL draft and all that stuff, and all Nick Hill has done is outplay him so far, in my opinion.
Boy, and John Randall, well over 100 yards on the day, stopped about a yard short of another first down by Walter Blair. Two high-powered offenses, Southern Illinois averaging 39.5 points per game in the Gateway Conference, where they lost one game all year. That was to Northern Iowa, who was unbeaten, number 1 in the country, until Delaware beat them in Cedar Falls last week. So now Gateway against the Colonial Athletic Association. Southern Illinois beat UMass out of the CAA last week to get to this game. And it's a 2nd and 2. Randall gets the ball again and gets the first down. Randall inside the 30, stopped by Anthony Bratton, but 8 more yards for Randall, who's piling them up now, over 130 yards on the night.
Yeah, and Tim Prindle, the linebacker, gets caught up in the line of scrimmage and doesn't get the fold over the top and become a factor. So now all of a sudden your safety and your corners have to fold in and make a play against the run. And give a lot of credit to that offensive line for the Salukis. They are pushing people around.
The third quarter coming to a close. The only score in the quarter. Irvin Machad catching a pass from Joe Flacco to give Delaware the lead, but Southern Illinois has the ball, and they're driving. Jared Kill, Casey Keeler fighting for a national championship spot. Podcast in high definition, available on ESPN HD, presented by Pioneer Kuro HD TV, and 'tis the season. Christmas tree illuminated here in Armadale, Illinois. Southern Illinois has not scored since the first quarter. Kyle Doherty with a field goal, John Randall with a touchdown run, but they are threatening right now against Delaware. Fourth quarter about to get underway. Whoever wins this game will play Friday night for the national championship against two-time defending champion Appalachian State out of Boone, North Carolina. John Randall strung out and doesn't pick up anything. J.T. Laws, senior from St. George's, Delaware, forcing him out as there's another penalty marker.
Salukie's starting to run the ball to the left more and more as this game wears on. Trying to get it behind Aaron Lockwood and Darren Marquez. A couple of all-conference, all-Gateway Conference players.
Pro Scouts very impressed with Marquez, number 77, the left tackle, so they have really good feet on him.
Dead ball, personal foul, defense. Number 55, Swaggy, he is also ejected.
So Tim Prindle has been kicked out of the game for the personal foul. A huge blunder for Prindle, the senior from California, who might be playing his last collegiate game, and what a way to go out.
Yeah, that's not a way you want to go out, that's for sure.
Let's go down to Dave Ryan.
Yeah, Pam, a huge loss certainly for Delaware that Tim Prindle has been kicked out of this game. It was just a few yards from me, right on the Delaware bench here. I was standing close to Prindle. He gave a little forearm shiver and a hit there to Randall as he came out, the running back for Southern Illinois, away from the play. So he's actually on the bench, and he hit the running back for Southern Illinois coming out, and he's been ejected. That's a key loss, and there are some very angry folks here on the Fighting Blue Hens bench right now.
That is unbelievable, and they had stopped him for no gain. Instead, it's a first down from the 15, and Prindle is still on the sidelines. Randall dropped for a loss as Brian Boyd comes in to make the stop, as Prindle now is leaving the field of play.
Yeah, and he doesn't have to leave the field of play. And here he is. You see him, he's going to get kind of working there out of bounds, and he gets involved in behind all those bodies, and you can't really see, what he did from that perspective. You can see the Saluki start pointing fingers at Tim Prindle, but according to NCAA rules, he does not have to leave the sideline. He can still be down there. He just can't go back in the ballgame.
And at Delaware, he's being taken into the locker room, it looks like, by someone on the Delaware staff. That pass is thrown behind the intended receiver, Rick Burgess, the fullback, as there was big-time pressure on Nick Hill, the quarterback. Jeremy Kometz, number 33, the most experienced defender coming in to this season for Delaware, was all over him.
Yeah, Kometz got great pressure, and it's a good thing for the Blue Hens that he did, because Burgess was wide open going down the sideline, coming out of the backfield, nobody near him, and had Hill a little more time. He could have tossed that one out there where Burgess could have got it. That'd have been 6 points.
Kometz, along with Manny Marshall, the only two returning starters on that defensive line for Delaware, as Southern Illinois now facing a big 3rd and 13. Into the end zone, and almost going up to get it is Alan Turner, who had to elevate over Marvin McKinney, but it just tipped off his fingertips.
What a great play by McKinney. He's in press coverage out there on the side, working on Turner, forces him outside, so that puts his body automatically in between the quarterback and the receiver, and you see with that position, he was able to get his hand up and break that thing up.
So Kyle Doherty is in for the 3rd time today, but really attempting only his 2nd field goal. This one from 34 yards out. And coming out with the ball is Justin Allen. Allen looking into the end zone. Flags down all over the place, and it's caught by Andrew Kearns. Kearns, listed as a right tackle, plays some tight end for Southern Illinois. Catches it for the touchdown, but there's another marker.
Well, a lot of times you're going to get a lineman downfield in a situation like that. Kearns has the eligible number. He's the tight end up top here. And you see him delay late. I don't see, yeah, you get a couple big guys right here going down the line. Look like Craig Combrink, 79. The right tackle is down the field. I don't know if that was a fire call or if it was a fake call. They have an automatic fire call.
An eligible receiver downfield by the kicking team, number 79. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 4th down.
Another situation where Turner can't handle the football. And so it was a fire call. You yell fire when you don't get that right. Excuse me, Allen, not Turner, couldn't handle the football. And so they executed the fire pretty well, except the big lineman went downfield. And now let's see if Justin Allen can hang on to a snap.
Kyle Doherty again.
He's dropped 2 in a row.
Maybe he'll have an opportunity now, this time from 39 yards out. Allen hangs on to it. The field goal is up, and it is no good as he just pushed it wide to the right. So some miscues from the holder, Justin Allen, hurting Southern Illinois tonight. And they come away empty on that drive. Had a short field to work with. Doherty had it long enough, but just scooched it wide. So Delaware survives yet another scare as Southern Illinois came away empty on another drive. The Blue Hens leading 14-10. Still plenty of time left in this game. It has been a penalty play game. Both teams penalized 8 times. Delaware 8 times for 96 yards as Mashad is able to get a yard or 2 on that carry. Chris Arthur is making the stop for the Salukis.
Along with Brandon Jordan, that middle linebacker who made a couple of key short yardage stops in the first half. He's had a pretty good ball game running all over the field.
These two teams, only the second time in their histories that they have met. They met in the first round in the 2003 playoffs. Delaware winning handily in Newark in the year when the Blue Hens went on to win their last national championship. Flacco has his man, another long throw to Mark Duncan, and Duncan is stopped a couple of yards short of the first down by Brandon Williams.
Well, another example of the strength of Joe Flacco's arm, zipping it out there, that kind of 3/4 sidearm, and he shows you the strength once again that he has in that right arm.
3rd and 2 for Delaware. They are 3 for 8 on 3rd downs in this game. Three tight ends in for the Blue Hens. Blitz coming. Flacco throws off his back foot for Omar Cuff, who tried to make an adjustment and was run into. They're going to get Chauncey Mixon for interference.
And they ran a wheel route. They knew they had Mixon locked up on Omar Cuff. They felt Cuff had the speed, so he's going to run an out and up. And when he goes to the up part, Chauncey Mixon loses track of not only the football, but also Omar Cuff. And you see him, and he comes in at the end there, and he got there before the ball did.
The fans here at McAndrew Stadium were booing, but that was the correct call, as there was contact before the ball got to Cuff.
Devin Reese had the pressure on Joe Flacco that forced that early throw. Had he had time, boy, he could have just laid that into Cuff's breadbasket.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 3, 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Results in a first down.
Jerry Gill don't believe it, but it's true. Here's a look at the end, and you see number 3, Chauncey Mixon, got there a little bit before the ball did and never got his eyes back to find the football. An obvious call.
Got to give Mixon a lot of credit, playing with that broken right hand, has it all casted up. One-handed linebacker. Big penalty because it results in the first down. 45-yard line. Omar Cuff, the star running back for Delaware, gets 3 on first down. Devin Reese makes the stop. Devin Reese, senior from Daphne, Alabama. Daphne High School, the high school of Pat White, the terrific quarterback for West Virginia. Had that heartbreaking loss against Pittsburgh, knocked them out of the national championship race in that division where they don't decide it on the field. Had they done this division the way they do it in the bowl subdivision, Montana and Northern Iowa will be playing for the national championship. Both those guys are gone.
Yeah.
They didn't even make it to the semis. 2nd and 7. Flacco out in the flat finds Omar Cuff. And Cuff, who has really turned himself into a terrific receiver, in part because he knew he had to work on it last year. He went out at dusk and was playing catch with his mom, among other family members, so he would become a better receiver.
Had his cousins, his uncles, anybody who would throw a football to him, he'd get him out there. And the part I like about the story is he's got mom out there doing it too, and they like to do it at dusk. And try that sometime. Go out there when it's just starting to get dark and catch a football. Much more difficult than in broad daylight, obviously. But it really helped him develop his hands.
And he caught that one for a first down, his second catch of the night. That's a 7-yard gain. Flacco retreating. Oh, dangerous, dangerous pass. Devin Reese got a hand on it right in the middle. Middle screen call for Cuff, and Reese was unable to bring it in.
I've been waiting all day for Delaware to pull the screen out. That was a huge play for them in their win last week against Northern Iowa. They must have run it 10 times, in particularly very early, because they had trouble in pass protection, and that's been a huge play for them. They finally try it, and boy, Reese almost stole it from them.
Instead, incomplete. 2nd and 10 now. So Southern Illinois coaches told us yesterday that they were expecting more screens, and they finally got a look at one, and Reese almost picked it off. 2nd and 10, play clock down to 1, or they just got it off. Flacco moving around, trying to buy some time, and throws it away just as he's about to go down. Southern Illinois fans want the grounding. Reese again with the big-time pressure. And there is no penalty marker.
No, there's no grounding on that. Flacco got whacked pretty hard when he tried to throw the football, and that's why it came out funny. As the Salukis go to a stunt, you see defensive linemen kind of switching lane responsibilities, running around, and then Reese just relentless on his pressure, and then Trevor Moe gets him a little piece at the end.
Well, Reese has really made some big plays on this series. 3rd and 10 for Delaware. Blitz, they get it to Cuff, and Omar Cuff catches it and runs for the first down. So a good play call with the blitz coming. 3rd catch of the day results in a first down for the Fighting Blue Hens.
Well, they had the perfect play dialed up for a blitz, because there's nobody left out there to make the play. I mean, you see Cuff run his little route, and then bam, they got blockers in front, body on a body, and that was a heck of a play by the defender out there on the corner to fall in and make that tackle. It looked like that was Turner, number 2, who fell in and got off a block and saved the day.
First down now from the 33. Flacco retreating, able to get it off. That pass should have been caught by Josh Baker, the sophomore tight end from Chesapeake, Virginia.
That same delay pattern that they used earlier for the touchdown to Agnon. This time they try and do it to Baker, and he was open as well, just couldn't hang on to the football.
It's the 3rd pass that has been dropped by Delaware receivers this afternoon, now going into this evening. 2nd and 10 from the 33. Delaware with a 4-point lead over Southern Illinois in the the Division I semifinal. Cuff right up the middle. Stopped about 5 yards short of the first down by Chauncey Mixon. Let's take a look at the Saluki defense.
Boy, they've been playing well. Here's that 4th down stop by Brandon Jordan. You see a tackle for a loss there by Trevor Moe. And then they're getting a hit right there on the quarterback. That's Chauncey Mixon going in and getting himself a sack. So the Salukis have played very good defense, but they need to keep going to have a chance.
And Omar Cuff has been the go-to guy for Delaware, both on the ground and through the air, particularly here in the second half. Cuff well over 100 yards between passing and rushing. That pass is low to Mashad, as Flacco, one of his rare misfires, knows that he should have had that pass closer to his receiver.
Yeah, he had a little bit of pressure in front of him, but he knows that was his bad. I mean, he just did not get that ball up where it needed to go. And Jerry Kill's team dodged a little bit of a bullet there. And now Delaware going to try and make it a 7-point lead with a long field goal of their own.
47-yard attempt for John Strajewski. That would be, or match, his career long. But he set last week against Northern Iowa. And 2 weeks in a row Strajewski has nailed one from 47. This is a guy who couldn't even get the ball over the crossbar from close in. Casey Keeler says he's improved more in 1 year than any player he's ever seen in college football. Matches his number with the 47-yard field goal, and it's a 7-point Delaware lead.
On ESPN by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. We'll pick you up. And in part by Pontiac. Vote now for the Pontiac game-changing performance of the year at ESPN.com. Keyword Pontiac.
And the Heisman Trophy presentation show coming up about 1 hour from now, 8 Eastern Time. 2000 Heisman Trophy presentation presented by Nissan. You get a look at the 4 finalists. And during last night's game, Appalachian State and Richmond, I heard they had Colt Brennan on, and Colt says he thinks Tim Tebow's going to win it.
Yeah, he may be right. Amazing years he's had.
To Delaware now with a 7-point lead. Craig Turner gets the kickoff and is taken down finally. Or not taken down. He escaped at the 35. Craig Turner, a magical kick return for a touchdown.
Unbelievable 88-yard return by Turner, who made about 3 or 4 men miss right in front of his own bench and kept it alive, and then showed you the speed on the back end, busting away and out of the pack for a huge touchdown for the Salukis, who have a chance to tie it up if Justin Allen can hang on to the snap here.
What a play by Turner for Southern Illinois. He appeared.
They may take a look, see if he stepped out of bounds, but I didn't see it.
Timeout.
Just to make sure.
Yeah, the home crowd not happy to hear that. But from the angle I saw, I did not see him step out of bounds. We'll take a few looks at it and make sure on that. Here he is. You see him stop well short of going out of bounds. Nah, there's no way. He was not out of bounds. So if that's what they're reviewing, and indeed I believe it is, then this one will stand as a touchdown.
If this stands up, it will be the second career kick return touchdown. He ran one back 93 yards for a score 2 seasons ago in a playoff game at Appalachian State, and now coming up big in another playoff game. Let's go down to Dave Ryan. Dave.
Well, you talk about a momentum change thanks to Craig Turner's miraculous return right here on the SIU bench, which, guys, is in front of the entire student section here in Carbondale, and they were quiet. There were some heads hanging low here after the field goal was made by Strajewski a moment ago. It's all changed.
The ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
88-yard touchdown on the kick return for Craig Turner. Casey Keeler's team deciding not to kick away from him that time, and they paid for it very dearly. The Delaware defenders perhaps thinking, like I did certainly, that they had him bottled up on the sideline, but Turner just squirted out of there for the touchdown.
Yeah, both coaches talked about how special teams will have an impact on this game, and indeed they did, in particular in the form of Mr. Craig Turner with the 88-yard touchdown return on the kick, just when things look the bleakest for the Salukis, down 7 in the 4th quarter. A trip to the title game on the line, and he gets it done.
And that is their first score since the 1st quarter. They've been sitting on those 10 points for a while now. Time to take a look at the Home Depot coaching adjustments.
Well, the one thing I think that the Salukis did in the second half was decided that they could run the ball a little bit more with their quarterback. And so you saw that out of Nick Hill. 9 carries on the day, 38 yards, and most of those coming in the second half. And that's really been something that's kind of opened some things up for Jerry Kill's offense.
And you can't say enough about the job that Nick Hill has done running the football here, particularly in the second half. A very good quarterback for Southern Illinois, 101 yards through the air and 38 yards on 9 rushes for him. And what a momentum changer, as Dave Ryan reported. This place was silent after Delaware got a 47-yard field goal by John Strayevsky to go up by a touchdown. Craig Turner turned it around, got 7 for 6 all on his own. Kyle Doherty adds the extra point. We're tied.
Why do you kick it to a guy like that? You know, you see it on Sundays. People still kick the ball to Devin Hester of the Bears. Yeah, there's got to be a better way.
Now the kickoff to Delaware's Kirby Mashad. And Mashad able to get away from a couple of Salukis, but it's taken down just past the 25-yard line by Clayton Johnson, the starting free safety. Let's take a look at the Coke Zero game track. And Joe Flacco, the University of Pittsburgh transfer, has thrown a couple of touchdowns. John Randall over 100 yards yet again. 1,000 yards on the season for the Southern Illinois running back. And there have been some mistakes. 1 fumble snap and then a miss on 2 field goal attempts for the Salukis.
And then that last one, the big one, Pam, the 88-yard kickoff return for the touchdown. Now we're going to see what Joe Flacco's made of.
He is known, rather, Joe Flacco is, for being unflappable, but nothing rattles him. Here's an opportunity to prove it. Pass is complete to Mark Duncan, a sophomore from Rockville, Maryland, played his high school at Suitland, high school football at Suitland. Anthony Williams with the stop, and that quiets the folks down just a little bit.
And the Salukis got away from their blitz. You know, they got burned on the blitz in the last series on that screen pass out to Omar Cuff. We'll see if they want to dial it up some more or just rush with the front 4. Talking to Tracy Clays, their defensive coordinator, said we got to have pressure. If we can get it with the front 4, we'll keep it to that. If not, we'll bring as many as we have to.
Duncan just made his 6th catch of the night. 2nd and 4. Pressure on Flacco, just gets it underway. And that pass is incomplete. Robbie Agnone, who caught a touchdown pass earlier in the game, couldn't come up with that one.
Yeah, Marty Rogers came over and just knocked the ball right out of his hand. Very close to being a catch. Take a look at it right in the middle. He's got it. He starts to bring it down, and here comes Marty Rogers pulling it out of his hands. Another look at it. He's got it. He's starting to run with it, and Rogers shows up immediately to break it up. An incomplete pass.
3rd and 4 for Delaware in a tie game. So much on the line. The winner plays for the national championship on Friday night.
Salukis showing the blitz. They bring it.
Flacco completes it. A huge catch for Mashad with the blitz coming. Mashad able to pick up 23 yards. Devin Reese again with the pressure, but Flacco just stays in there to the last possible second.
Boy, what a nice route. You're going to see the receiver on the outside get across the face of his defender, and that's what creates the opening. It'll show up right there. He got across the face, did Mashad of Brandon Williams, and that's what got him open.
So now 1st down in Southern Illinois territory. Mashad again, and that one is thrown behind him as he was well covered by Clayton Johnson. Mashad has a touchdown catch in this game.
Boy, Johnson very fortunate because he didn't get his eyes back around to find the football. He very easily could have interfered.
Joe Flacco, the Pittsburgh transfer, take a look at his numbers. Got off to a very slow start and then heated up, and just 8 of 18 now in the 2nd half, but he does have a touchdown in each half. He's able to step into this one with all the time he needs to get it to Agnone, who hangs onto it. And Agnone, who is Flacco's roommate now at Delaware, makes the 1st down catch for 15 yards.
Had the matchup that he wanted. Brandon Jordan, the middle linebacker, drew the coverage on Agnone that time. And again, Flacco shows you the strength of his arm. That was a heater he threw right down the middle there. And he had, excuse me, Pam, but the difference is he has had the time here on this drive.
He's done a good job of evading some pressure on the day. Has been sacked a couple of times. Over the middle, and that one is completed again. This time to Aaron Love, who is taken down by Marty Rogers with some authority.
That's a suplex. WWE style.
15 more yards on that to Love. 5th in Delaware history in receiving, 6th in receiving yards. And here's your takedown.
Yeah, that's the suplex right there. Get him up and just slam him right on his back. You go on your back, too.
You
That's
like
one
that?
of my favorite moves. Oh, yeah.
There's the excitement I expect from a former NFL linebacker. You like that?
Yeah, you can do that one at home. Give it a shot.
You ever do that to a guy?
Absolutely.
And they loved it. First down from the 13. Delaware threatening. There's Omar Cuff was the intended receiver.
Yeah, Cuff should have caught that one.
Yeah, well, let's go down to the field now and Dave Ryan.
Yeah, dropped there by Omar Cuff, guys, but I've been watching Joe Flacco all night here from the sideline. It's amazing to see arm strength, how accurate he is. I mean, pinpoint accuracy, pass after pass. Not only the footwork we saw on tape and watched him this year, where to throw it and when to throw it. He is an NFL-type prospect. If I've ever seen one from the sideline, it's fun to watch.
All right, Rhino, we'll take a look at where he is considered in the senior rankings, as Cuff that time does hang on to it inside the 10. Craig Turner, who is the hero with an 88-yard kick return for a touchdown, makes the stop. This is Todd McShay's rankings for all senior quarterbacks regardless of division.
Right, and you see the respect that McShay has for Joe Flacco, ranking him number 5. I would actually put him maybe number 4 or number 3. I definitely would put him ahead of Chad Henne from Michigan.
See Cole Brennan at number 9. Todd has compared him to a young Ben Roethlisberger. That is high praise indeed.
He has that build, that size, that 6'6" frame, 230 pounds. His arm might be stronger than Roethlisberger, though.
3rd and 4, just gets the play off to beat the play clock, and then it's through the hands of Aaron Love. So Love unable to bring that one down. They'll bring Strajewski back out for the field goal attempt, but that's 6 drops now for Delaware receivers.
Boy, and Love's gonna have nightmares about this one, because that's a perfect throw, and it would have been a first down, if not a touchdown, but it just had so much heat on it, it went right through the hands.
So Strajewski, who just tied his career high with a 47-yard field goal, trying now from 24. And that one was close, but went through the uprights. So Delaware regains the lead.
You think they're going to kick it deep to Turner this time?
No, I might kick it away from number 2. I'd kick it out of bounds before I kicked it to number 2, Craig Turner.
You see that? It says fathead.com. You know what's at fathead.com?
Responsible for. And there's Craig Turner. 88-yard kick return for a touchdown, and they do kick away from him. It goes on the ground and gets picked up by Richard White. White picked it up in front of Turner, who was waiting to pick up that ground ball. But he takes it out to the 37-yard line. We talked about Armani Edwards' numbers, and this is unbelievable. He's 7 touchdowns. I shorted him 1.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. 313 yards rushing from a quarterback. That's just mind-boggling.
So that is 495 yards of total offense from one guy. Richmond, going down. You see the final score 55-35, but it was tied up until the 4th quarter when Edwards just became Superman.
He was Superman for a full 4 quarters in that game, boy. He was amazing.
Richard White, pick 2. Actually, Nick Hill hanging on to it. And Hill, the quarterback, again using his feet here in the second half, gets it up to the 46-yard line, picked up 9. Coming up next before the Heisman Trophy presentation at 8 Eastern time, we will get you back to Bristol, Connecticut for Sports Center. Those folks will get you caught up on everything and lead up to the big show coming up from New York City to see who wins the Heisman. 2nd and 1 now for Southern Illinois, trailing by 3. They have all 3 of their timeouts remaining. There's White with the carry, and he is bottled up. Jeremy Kometz able to get in front of him and prohibit him from getting the first down. But a 3rd and 1 coming up for the Salukis.
Yeah, Richard White has done a nice job in the time that he's been in the ball game today. We talked about him earlier, and the fact that he, had to kind of pay his dues and learn the system, and then also learn how to block a little bit to get himself in the lineup. And once he mastered those things, he can carry the football. That was never a doubt.
He will be the man next year. John Randall is a senior. They go right back to the true freshman, and he gets the first down, breaks out free, and is bumped out of bounds around the 35-yard line by Anthony Bratton.
Boy, what a block by Byron Geddes, the 28-year-old tight end on the right side, number 84. He just mows down the contained defender. Here he is right here. Watch the block over there on that side. He's going to step outside. He's got the corner, and he's just driving Graves right onto his back. It's pancake time.
19 yards for White. It's the first time we've had the chance to talk about Geddes. You mentioned he's 28 years old, played 8 years of pro baseball, 39 at-bats with the Kansas City Royals in 2004, and now he's playing football as a 28-year-old sophomore.
Yeah, they call him Grandpa. His wife, Latrice, she has a 2-year-old son, Byron Geddes Jr., and he's so grateful and thankful that he's here, and Jerry Kill gave him the opportunity to come in and play football after, you know, his baseball career didn't quite go how he wanted. Spent 8 years in the baseball world. A couple years up with the Royals, like you said, Pam, had 39 at-bats, but he's really been a steadying influence and a mature influence on this football team.
Tells stories like Bull Durham on the bus about playing in the show, and his fellow football players always interested in hearing about that as Justin Allen makes the catch. He actually is writing a book about his experiences as well, and boy, what a story it is to go from being a pro baseball player now back on campus. And as you said, Ray, the coaches mentioned he's just having the time of his life playing college football.
And had a huge week last week. Third play of the game, caught himself a nice long touchdown pass to get the Salukis rolling.
And he is in now in a large 3rd and 5 for the Salukis. Down a field goal for Delaware. Whoever wins this game plays for the national championship next week against Appalachian State. And Southern Illinois wants to make sure as they burn their first timeout.
Well, this is a huge down here, Pam. 3rd down and 5. Time going down on the clock. You want to make sure you got the right one for this.
So Appalachian State already has punched its ticket to Chattanooga, Tennessee. Here we go on one of our favorite things, the Google map. It's going to take us right in to Chattanooga. This is the place where ESPN2 will have the championship game 8 Eastern time. Finley Stadium, Davenport Field, and the folks at App State very familiar with it because of their 2 straight national championships. Of course, they beat Michigan in the opening game of the season to really make the nation aware of them. 15 of the 16 teams in this Division I championship, the football championship series, have been there before, except for Delaware State. #1 team lost to Delaware last week as we go down the field again in Dave Ryan.
Well, Pan, there's no question covering the FCS games are a lot of fun. Last year I was on the sideline for the ESPN broadcast of that national title game. App State won it over UMass, and I've never been part of such a huge celebration as we saw last year with the Mountaineer fans. They stormed the field, Pam. 20,000. It was incredible.
Yeah, they really know how to have fun in Boone, and it's nice to have a true national champion. Randall sidesteps one would-be tackler, but Walter Blair is able to tackle him as they're unable to get the first down.
Boy, what a play by middle linebacker Eric Johnson, the first guy to kind of wend his way through the blockers, and he forced the cutback, and then Blair finished things up. And that's the guy that, you know, has been making the plays for this Delaware defense all year long. Eric Johnson comes up with a big one. He's the glue that kind of holds this group together.
4th and 4.
Here's your season.
And they're going for it. Little play action. He doesn't have a man open. Nick Hill still looking for someone and goes down. Delaware's defense all over would-be receivers, and Eric Johnson and Matt Marcarell, the 2 leaders of this defense. A huge play, a huge sack on Hill.
Boy, 4th down, that's where it happens, and the Delaware defense made the play, came up with a huge play. The coverage down the field, nowhere for Nick Hill to go with the football. You see him a little half-hearted play action fake. He's looking, he doesn't find anybody. Now he's just running for his life, and his eyes are no longer downfield. And as soon as the quarterback takes his eyes off the receivers and gets it on the rushers, he's done. It's over. and that's what happened right there.
And there were no wide receivers in the game. There were 3 tight ends for Southern Illinois. None of them could get open. So the ball goes over on downs, and Omar Cuff loses the ball at the end of his run. It is pounced on by Keon Hendricks, but they're going to say that it was not a fumble, that Cuff was down anyway after a 12-yard gain and a first down. So Omar Cuff, boy, coming in as advertised, some terrific talent playing here on both sides of the ball for both teams.
Here's the end of it right there, and you see Cuff definitely on the ground before the ball comes out. But a big sigh of relief on that Delaware sideline.
Cuff approaching 100 yards. He has 34 rushing touchdowns, none today. He hasn't scored at all today, so it's disappointing for Omar in that respect. He's got 38 touchdowns on the season. That time, not much at all, as Brandon Jordan again. Boy, Jordan's had a heck of a game coming in to plug that hole.
He's a pretty good middle linebacker. Does a great job of kind of fighting his way through traffic and then getting up in there and laying a hit once you get into the hole.
He was the Gateway Freshman of the Year last year and led his team in tackles. Second on the team in tackles this season, actually third, excuse me, behind Chauncey Mixon and Trevor Moe, his fellow linebackers. Very good linebacking core for the Salukis. 2nd and 8 for Delaware. They have the 3-point lead. Southern Illinois only has 2 timeouts. We're inside 3 minutes. Cuff, not much again, as Jordan makes yet another stop. And the clock stops with 2 minutes and 32 seconds left to go, as Southern Illinois takes its 2nd timeout.
Boy, that Brandon Jordan is playing very good right now. Coming downhill, he knows they got to stop him on this set of downs.
And another reminder that coming up about 38 minutes from now on ESPN, college football's Hero of the Pass welcome a new member to their exclusive club, the Heisman Trophy presentation presented by Nissan. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. Colt Brennan, Chase Daniel, Darren McFadden, last year's Heisman runner-up, and Tim Tebow, the super soft, with 29 passing touchdowns and 22 rushing touchdowns, are the 4 finalists who are in Manhattan standing by to see who wins the Heisman. But we got high drama right now. 3rd and 6 as we check out our Pontiac game-changing performance.
Well, there's been a few game changers on this one. That 4th down play where Nick Hill had nowhere to go with it. So he's just going to get run under, and it's, of course, nobody else but Eric Johnson and Matt Marcarell making that play a game changer right there.
So Delaware facing a 3rd and 6. Southern Illinois down to only 1 timeout. Needless to say, a first down here will get them a whole lot closer to Chattanooga. Flacco, little pump fake. He has a man open. It's Mark Duncan, but can't get it to him. As the ball floats over his head, that stops the clock with 2:26 left to go.
What a gutsy call by Kirk Chiroka, their offensive coordinator. Went for it all, and he had it. And it's just overthrown by Flacco. Had the defenders bite on the hitch and go. As Brandon Williams got sucked in on that, but it didn't work because Flacco just overthrew it a little bit. Now Southern Illinois will have one more chance.
Look who's waiting for the ball. Craig Turner on the 16 as the flag is down. Ken Worthy's punt sails into the end zone for what could be a touchback, but again, we will check the marker.
You saw the preliminary signal against Delaware.
And this is the way the brackets have shaken down in this football championship series. Appalachian State with a win over Richmond. So they are waiting for the Friday kickoff between either Delaware or Southern Illinois. And as you see, Southern Illinois, the only one. They only seed the top 4 in this division. And the top 3 seeds all gone. Montana, the 2nd seed. McNeese State, the 3rd seed. They lost the very first week. Northern Iowa, the number 1 seed and unbeaten, lost last week to Casey Keeler's Delaware squad.
Interesting decision by Jerry Kill here to not have Delaware kick it again. He's just going to take the football on his own 20-yard line with the time remaining, putting it on his offense and his quarterback, Nick Hill.
Southern Illinois needing at least a field goal to extend its season as that ball is one-hopped towards Alan Turner. Southern Illinois with just 1 timeout.
Oh, it looked like he tried to aim that one.
Last 4 years for the Salukis, a couple of first-round losses and a couple of quarterfinal losses under Coach Jerry Kill, and they finally broke through to the semifinals for the first time since 1983, and that was the time that Southern Illinois won its national championship with a school record 13 wins under Ray Dempsey, who was the coach at that time. Hanging on to it himself is Nick Hill, the quarterback, and he is driven backwards as the clock keeps rolling. So they elect not to throw the ball downfield. Brian Brown with the impressive tackle.
Well, they're in 4-down territory. Even you don't hear that very often when you're on your own 20-yard line. But they're going to take all 4 downs here. There's no punting in this deal.
3rd and 9, Hill going downfield, and it's picked off. He threw it right to Anthony Walters, who goes down, and Delaware now a minute 42 away from a national championship game appearance.
Boy, a heartbreaker for Nick Hill. Had he just waited a little bit longer, his shorter receiver came open. But that was not the case. He didn't wait. He threw it up, tried to let his guy make a play. Beeler running down the sidelines, but Walters was right there waiting for it. Maybe you can see the receiver that came open. Nah, not really from that angle, but you see what he was looking at, trying to get it down there. And he ends up throwing it up for grabs, and Walter comes up with a huge play.
Delaware now. Southern Illinois down to just 1 timeout as more flags hit the field. Delaware last year was only 5-6 on the season. A very uncharacteristic down year for this Blue Hen program.
There is no foul on the play. Timeout, Southern Illinois. That is their 3rd and final timeout.
Wow, I don't know why you call a timeout in that situation. That's not giving you much of a chance. I mean, your only chance you had was to let them run a play, use your timeout, and then hope you can, maybe force a fumble or something like that, hang on, and maybe get the ball back with a few seconds left. But using your timeout in that situation, pretty much over.
Let's go down to the field now again to Dave Ryan. Dave.
Well, Joe Flacco, Omar Cuff, record-setting numbers for Delaware offensively. We thought we might have a shootout today. Nick Hill, the great quarterback for Southern Illinois, but in the end, it's the Delaware defense who stopped Southern Illinois on the 4th and 4, and then the big interception made a moment ago by the Delaware defense. So it's the defense that keeps the Fighting Blue Hens season alive, it appears, with a date against Appalachian State next week. Really an amazing story, guys. Winning 2 tough road games at Northern Iowa, at Southern Illinois, back-to-back weeks. Quite a story for Delaware.
And Rhino, they're going to need that defense next week. They try and stop that Appalachian State offense with Armani Edwards running wild.
Kevin Richardson, the very talented running back who can also catch the ball for them as Cuff gets the ball again. Omar Cuff approaching 100 yards on the night. This Delaware team again went 5-6 last year. A lot of injuries, including Omar Cuff, who missed 4 total games and really was not 100% for the rest of the season. And they are right now not only coming back on the road 2 straight weeks, but coming back on the road 2 straight weeks when they fell behind 10-0. The very good football teams. The 1st overall seed last week in Northern Iowa and the number 4 seed this week in Southern Illinois.
And that really tells you about the toughness, the mental toughness of this Delaware football team. 2 consecutive weeks on the road, away from home, facing all kinds of adversity, go down 10-0 early in both those games, and yet have the wherewithal to fight back, make it a 60-minute battle.
Sports Center is coming up next on ESPN, and that leads everybody up to the Heisman Trophy presentation. Omar Cuff on that last carry, over 100 yards on the night. 21 carries for 102 yards, second straight game in which he has gone over 100 yards.
Yeah, this game's pretty much over at this point, Pam. Delaware, all they have to do is take the knee, set the clock again, and it's over.
They won the championship in 2003. Joe Flacco, the senior, didn't get an opportunity to play at Pittsburgh. Now he has an opportunity to win a national championship. Head coach Casey Keeler had said Sunday at 2 o'clock, we're either getting ready for our next game or collecting equipment. They're not collecting equipment this week.
Not just yet, and congratulations to Coach Casey Keeler and his Fighting Blue Hens. Hung in there, got it done here today in a tough situation. And your head and your heart goes out to Jerry Kill as well.
And congratulations to Southern Illinois. They cap off a great season, but it ends today. 20-17, Delaware takes it. Coming up next, Sports Center. For continuing coverage of this game, check out Postgame Extra on ESPN News. Additional lighting courtesy of Musco Sports. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Dave Ryan and Ray Bentley, I'm Pam Ward. Delaware moving on to the national championship game against Appalachian State. That's Friday night. Now let's go to Sports Center.